3, 2, 1, go.
Hello and welcome to whatever we're calling this degenerate bunch of idiots. We are going to be playing some Dark Heresy 2nd Edition. I will be your GM. My name is Jay. These are my players. If the screen is showing them, is the screen showing them this?
It's actually not at the minute, but now it is.
Alright, lovely. These are my players. You can see them now. I think. And we will be entering at session 1, and we will be at season 3 entering the campaign called
Session
Man and Monster. Season 3 entering. And this season will be a combination of 3 separate campaigns. I hope the players are ready for it. I hope whoever is watching is too. I know that I am, at least. So, before we start this particular session, for those that are unfamiliar with the characters,
testing.
would everybody please introduce themselves? Let's start with our illustrious Twitch host, this.
I am Inquisitor Magnus Bloodstone the 15th. I have only recently acquired the rank of Inquisitor, although it is more of a provincial. Hopefully, if me and my team can overcome the trials that are laid before us, I will get full reins over my inquisitorialship. I lead from the front. I have a power sword and a suppression shield. And I have a great deal of faith in my comrades.
Alright. Next up, let's go to your interrogator. Sister Littler.
Hello there, I'm Jim, also known as Sister Lillian. I am a Sister of Battle of the Hospitaller Order, and I'm the team's medic and sniper.
And the suicidal maniac. Don't forget that part.
Shush. The psychopath part nobody knows, except maybe Magnus.
And perhaps your fellow sister, to whom we shall get now. Sister
Who
Sarah.
is very aware of your suicidal tendencies.
I'm not suicidal.
Suicide, martyrdom, same thing really, different circumstances.
Not really.
But, as
Brave.
our illustrious host mentioned, I am Yashina, and I'm going to be playing Sister Sarah, who is formerly a scribe and now a fully fledged Sister of Battle of the Order of the Onyx Blade. I'm the brains behind the bronze, usually.
Yes. Speaking of some more brain power, Felicia.
I'm Dylan. I play Felicia Albor of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I've been brought in and subsequently blinded by the party and have had no reason to leave because I don't want to be watched for the rest of my life.
Yes. And now the latest addition to this particular party, Old Man Ulfdane. Duca, please introduce him.
Hello, I'm Duca, and my character is... I'm not 100% sure what his role is in the party. He's the resident psyker. Another one. He's kind of just there and helps by chance most of the time.
You're essentially, for now, the party's short-range psychic artillery, is what I would call it. Also utility tool. Because teleporting.
Utility that I will often disrupt and break.
Yes, because I think you forgot to mention that you're on null.
Yes, I totally forgot to mention. I'm an untouchable, which means I fuck with psychic powers wherever I go.
Now, for the players, where we left off last season, was the moment where Magnus Bloodstone was granted the title of Provisional Inquisitor. His former interrogator was immediately also directly promoted to Full Inquisitor. And he deemed that Sister Attila would be his interrogator should he be allowed to keep his title. And in order to prove themselves, he was given the choice by his Lord Inquisitor for several missions, and they have made their choice. Inquisitor Bloodstone, hereby another revision of what your mission is to be. You will be picking up a package in the Gulai system, which is currently uninhabited by any known Xenos race or human civilization. You will have an ambassador on board with you named Harold Gractus, who will be handling initial contact with the deliverer of the goods. The trade cargo in exchange for the package is currently in your cargo bay and under lock. This package must be delivered to the Alazaro system, to the world of Alazaro 4. Be aware that the entire system is currently under quarantine and lockdown by my orders. If you attempt to enter the system without the proper clearance codes, you will be shot on sight. The codes that will grant you safe access to the system will be delivered to you alongside the package. I have faith that you will be able to complete this mission successfully, should you keep your temper in check. Electo out. So, let us begin. We start off with the party currently on board the bridge of their new ship. Which, Lord Bloodstone, would you be so kind as to introduce us to your ship?
So as the team, I imagine we're kind of in the briefing room. After I'd been given the orders, I would have called the team into the briefing room. Good morning, everyone. I just want to start off by giving y'all a rundown of our new vessel. I decided to name her the Storm Shield. She's an escort class sword frigate. She packs a punch, but I've been told to keep my temper in check and to understand that she's not a frontline vessel. So hidden run tactics will be her forte. We've got well, let's just say Miss Alona had this ship somewhat specially fitted. Unfortunately, the Lord Inquisitor decided that some of this technology was wasted on such a vessel. But we still have the Sunseer Lance batteries, cargo hold with lighter bays. So we can definitely fill our coppers if we should find anything, that we might want. Magnus does look over at Brother Felicia as his like an eyebrow arches. We also have a barracks, so we can be sure that our military strength, whilst we're on operations, should be decent enough, and I will leave that to you, Interrogator Latilla. You'll note that I have already procured a second in command for you. I hope you'll be pleasantly surprised. Along with reinforcements to the hull, armored bridge, she'll definitely keep us.
Is someone at the door?
Excuse me, Inquisitor. May we come in?
Magnus waits for a second and kind of ponders it before realizing he shouldn't be a dick. Of course, yes, enter, please.
Okay. Who step in are 3 people that over the course of this current warp travel that you're on to the rendezvous system have grown somewhat familiar with. Your second in command,
it's nice to meet you once
chief
again.
of security to the tiller, your captain, who makes sure that the vessel will, well, run and go where it's supposed to, as well as your ambassador, Harold.
Oh, Harold, dear.
Oh, it's good to see you again. Apologies, we were just going having a rundown of our ship systems.
Yes, I do believe that that was necessary. We've been currently in the warp for about a week, and, well, we've all been busy making sure that nothing's wrong with the vessel now that it's actually back in the warp again. Everything so far seems to be fine. Gellerfield seems to be remarkably stable. Tech Adepts did good work with that. All press gang troopers are currently back in shape. We have currently a contingent of about 5,000 men, out of a capacity of a total that the barracks can hold of 8,000. We have also rummaged through some of the lower decks of the ship and have managed to found several retrofitted Sentinel walkers alongside a well, it's no super heavy vehicle, but we have found a tank. Let's put it simply like that.
Well, that's excellent news. Magnus does get a smile and clearly sees Latilla have a grin on her face as well. Well, ensure that we get it all catalogued. I want to know what we can deploy at any given moment.
Yes. Curiously, as far as the adepts were able to describe the model of the tank, they were baffled themselves by the fact that it appears to be he quickly grabs a piece of paper out of his pocket as an immolator class. I have no idea what that is. In any case,
Can I roll Adeptus Sororitas lore? Because technically Immolator, out of character, if I recall
Yes.
correctly, is a Sororitas
roll.
warrior.
You may roll that.
Can we roll too?
You may roll too. Sisters may roll.
I'm not familiar with this type. It was at least never supporting my regiments back in the day.
That's because this is the model used commonly by a sisterhood.
That might also explain why I wasn't originally in the cargo bay when we last checked 2 weeks ago, when the ship was getting its retrofits. I believe it may be a gift for you, I do not know.
Could you double check that? I don't want to be upsetting the sisterhood. Magnus gives out a little chuckle and gestures with his hand at kind of Latilla and Sister Sarah.
Yes. Your second in command, Chief of Security, immediately steps in. I have the area currently under control. None of the serfs have been allowed near it, apart from the tech adepts. We will keep it under lockdown as long as you wish. As for the cargo, none of the serfs have currently even attempted getting close to it. The security seems to have...
Yes, can
make them rethink any options for that.
can we ensure that the serfs stay away from, especially the special cargo? I would like some of the newer troops who were brought in to be put in charge of protecting that area in particular. And
Already scheduled, sir.
Good work, good work.
Well, now that that is all done, perhaps why we discuss our protocols when we meet with who we are supposed to trade this cargo.
By all means, Magnus gestures to another seat. Take a seat and fill us all in. I think we should all be told.
Thank you, Robert. Oh, you wish me to tell what the cargo is?
Are you allowed to tell us what the cargo is?
If you specifically order me to, but...
I would... Magnus thinks for a second and... You may keep that under wraps, but I do order you to inform us when it is relevant. If something should go wrong that involves the cargo itself, you are to inform us immediately.
Well, I can certainly say that it is at least very amenable of your chief of security here that the entire place is currently being safeguarded. We do not want the possibly rebellious serfs to get their hands on this particular equipment that is part of this cargo. Let me put it that way.
No, I'm sure Sister Latilla here will keep that particular area of the ship off limits to anyone who's not meant to be.
Ah, yes, this is your interrogator, yes. My apologies, this must be entire retinue. I have not formally introduced myself to anyone but the Lord Bloodstone. My name is Harold Caractus. I am currently your ambassador on behalf of the Lord Inquisitor with our trade partners in this deal.
Little will make the sign of Aquila, make a side bow, and don't worry, Ambassador. I'll make sure that harsh punishments be given to anybody that does go in that area without the proper clearance.
Yes. For now, just keep this particular clearance to me. Should be, well, of course, the Inquisitor and my own retinue. They are currently outside. I did not think it'd be decent if I brought them into a meeting.
Very wise of you.
Yes, thank you. Although I do wish I had brought my stick. My back hurts. In any case, if that it is, are there any further questions? Actually, I have one. Captain, how long did the navigators say it will still take us to arrive in the system? The captain suddenly looks up and is like, according to the navigator, our ship will arrive in the system in 5 days' time. If the warp current is as favorable, it will stay as favorable as it currently is. We have plenty of fuel to deal with that and make it from here to the Alozero system in minimal jumps. Good. We do not want anything to go wrong with the cargo now, do we? He kind of looks nervously.
Just how dangerous is this cargo?
Well, it is not dangerous in and of itself, but should any rebellious crew member get their hands on it and see what is in addition to the cargo, some more volatile components, they might be incited to be slightly rebellious. Possibly this might mean they will just steal one of the lighters or something, which is a abhorrent idea while we are still in the war, because those things do not have gather fields. But if enough of them get rallied up, well, I do not doubt the security measures, but we might have a bit more trouble on our hands.
Captain, if I were to order an extra ration for the crew, how would our supplies look? Would this be an acceptable morale boost, or are our supplies limited?
Our ship has been stocked with enough standard issue rations to last us a year should things go terribly wrong in the warp, sir.
Very well. Then I order the quartermaster to issue an extra round of rations for the crew, and let's see if no, that'll do for now.
They seem content enough with the current lot. I don't think half of them even realize that the ship is in the new management.
Nah.
Well, let's make sure that when they do find out that the ship is under new management, they are pleasantly surprised.
Okay, most certainly. Very well, I will give the word to the quartermaster immediately. Inquisitor? He salutes and leaves the room.
The Lulu will look at the security chief and say, make sure that no one without clearance has access to that cargo hold.
I shall personally stay guard there as well, miss.
Good man.
But he also leaves the room after making a salute. Well then, Inquisitor, is there something else you might need?
The trade partner. Is there anything you can tell me about them?
I was told that they, the companionship of our trade partner might perhaps be a bit, how should I say this? If I may so delicately choose my words, rowdy. Though I have been assured by the Lord Inquisitor himself that they are perfectly reliable.
So, what, pirates?
Is that the
Of a sort.
Is that the extent of what you know about these trade partners?
Again, unless the Inquisitor here specifically orders me to tell him what the trade partners will be,
It's not our place to speak when the Inquisitor is in action.
I am not myself fully aware of the situation currently, but I have been informed to a certain degree. Again, if the Inquisitor wishes to know, he may order me to tell, but otherwise I'm under orders.
I am reluctant to. And Magnus looks at the man, and kind of, I'm reluctant to force you to tell me things that our boss has informed you to keep quiet. So, if you're not allowed to tell us without orders, then for now, I see no harm in trusting in the Lord Inquisitor.
Thank you, Lord Bloodstone. Just make sure that I am indeed the first one to open contacts. We do not think to go wrong with this. Amongst these things I was allowed to tell you is that their vessel is at least twice as long as ours.
I'll stay away from the comms when I'm in a cheery mood.
Thank you, Mr. Ulftain, sir.
It's Mr. Krieger. Alftain's my first name.
Sorry, Sir Krieger.
Sir?
Is there anything
And then I
else?
have a big grin on my face when I say sir.
Do not start such things during an important meeting.
My apologies, Miss Albor.
I apologize. I was not talking to you. I was talking to him.
I'll just shrug.
Well then, is there anything else that requires this discussion?
No, I'm quite satisfied. If I do have any other questions, I know where to find you.
Yes, in that case, Miss Albor, I must go find your fellows on this ship. My voice box modulator appears to be slightly malfunctioning. It hurts quite a bit, so I will be off. He
I will inform them to be
sort of
ready.
makes a salute and then just walks outside, and he makes a bit of a noise, and then just one of his guards in Captain's armor just walks in and hands him his stick. And then they walk out again.
When the
Some of the-
doors close, Sarah's just gonna. Are all diplomats such weasels, or is this a special case?
Pretty sure this is a special case, sister.
No, it's not. Magnus gets up and he opens the door and just looks outside and looks up and down the corridor. Like, he'll wait a couple of seconds to make sure that they are walking down the corridor.
Would you have your own guard stationed by the door or not?
Sure, yeah, I'd have a guard posted out,
Okay.
but Magnus would still like to. Cool,
The
the guard's still
what-
there.
Okay, would this be a elite guard, or would this just be a random guardsman?
I
mean,
imagine
come
up by the bridge he'd be an elite.
Okay, because your Lieutenant Second in Command, Chief of Security, has been training several of the guards with more specialized weapons. So the man standing outside, he's wearing slightly ornate flak armor, but he has a special sort of halberd weapon combined with a gun.
Magnus gives him a nod and then looks down the corridor and hopefully sees the procession of the diplomat and his retinue.
You don't even see them anymore; they already left.
Magnus gives the guard another nod, hands him a low stick. Keep up the good work, and don't smoke that on duty. And then he turns around, goes back inside.
So you see the guard just put it in his pocket.
The door shuts behind Magnus. So I'm not 100% on our friends here, so I'd like everyone to keep an eye on what they say around them. Brother Felicia, if you could, not to make it too obvious, but if you do make your way to where the cargo should be stored, just outside, if you happened to do some scans in that area. You let me know if anything ominous shows up, will you?
Typical maintenance that area should be due in 3 days, and scanning of the structural faults is part of the regular routine.
Excellent. If you could oversee the scanning of that area. For one, I'm not too sure what this cargo is, but well, I'd like to know if it's like explosive or if it's without the diplomat going and snitching on us.
He sounded very insistent on the idea that the crew might start something.
I can't say that I like that ambassador very much. And not telling us who we're going to be dealing with is, well, not safe.
Or Inquisition, since when were we doing anything else?
Still.
I must point out I did not know who I was dealing with when I met you.
And let's remember, it's the Lord Inquisitor. It can't be that bad, can it? Magnus kind of looks around at all of you, just like an eyebrow raised, like,
Literally just going to shake her and say, oh no, it just jinxed us.
I'll nod when you say that.
Okay. So, you guys want the time skip to when Felicia scans the cargo, or does anyone else want to do something?
Also, because it's a high priority area, she will move it up the register as necessary.
Magnus would hold Latilla back once everyone else has gone off to do their duties, or he'll call Latilla in at one point. And Magnus, let's say you come to Magnus's bedroom, his office.
You have a study that is actually filled with books about. I would guess in your case it is filled with books about orcs and gene stealers, as well as a single tome simply labeled The Great Enemy.
Magnus would hand a data slate to Sister Latilla, and now, Sister, for the moment, you're not to tell anyone else about what's the information on that data slate. As far as I could get my head around it, it seems that Gregorius checked over Alona's body and the assassin's body, and they did things to them when they were children.
Lovely. But things always seems to get from good bad to worse, don't they? Well, I will not inform anyone else of this. But is there any information on what was done to them in this data slate?
Yes. In fact, that's the autopsy report. It all goes over my head a little bit, but the rundown is, or the basics, basically, Alona and the assassin had Xenos DNA added to their own. After that, everything gets a bit medically technical, and, well...
Interesting.
But
Were
I
they
had
able
to ask for this information. It was inquisitorially sealed. So...
Well, reasonable. Humans with Xena's DNA is not exactly pure.
I also would like you to do some tests on me, if you wouldn't mind.
Very well. I can do them at any moment you'd like, Magnus. Also, I do need to ask, were they able to identify what type of Xena's DNA it was?
Tyranid.
Lovely, as expected. Ah, and to think that not too long ago we were burning them at the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, not too long before that, well, until it looks at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. More Magnus, I'll go tell no one of this, and I'll make sure to keep our well, dealings confidential.
And I'll be down at the med bay as soon as Magnus kind of puts stuff back in his desk, and like as soon as we're done here, I'll be making my way. I've got the chills over this. Once I read the report, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll make sure the med bay is cleared. Oh well, I'll take my leave now.
Very well. Magnus gets up, lights a low stick, and starts making his way down to the med bay.
I'll make my way too. I'll light a low stick too. One of my
Hey.
holy ones.
Lieutenant, would you like to roll some Medicaid tests?
I would. Where is Medicaid? It's been so long.
It's just above navigate, it's about level with the thing for fellowship.
Yep,
Damage
yep.
amusement.
So, what can I learn?
Without needing to cut Magnus open, you quickly establish that no has taken place within his flesh.
Okay, and with my prior knowledge, was there anything else I could tell? Because I did several autopsies on, infected.
He's got a few
See-
STIs. He's got a few STDs.
Oh no, Felicia would have cured them.
I'm not so sure I'd like a tech priest cured for STDs.
She's a chirurgeon.
I scrape the infection clean.
You know, Frank,
With a
she's a
chain
chirurgeon.
scalpel.
I was gonna say she's a chirurgeon before she's a mechanic. In some regards.
Yes. You
It's just
do notice a large amount of stress hormones and a tenseness in the muscles as you test him.
Oh, you're a little tense, but I don't see anything wrong with you, Magnus. Can I take a blood sample and test it too, Jim?
That was part of the procedure. Nothing came up.
Okay, and well, let's see. Your blood sample came clean. Your test so far. I mean, you're a little stressed and tense, but other than that, you're fine. I don't see
that's
anything
good to
wrong
hear.
with you.
That's good to hear. I'm actually Magnus like brushes his hair a bit. He's like, well, since Ulfting since Yannick has left
Yenka.
us, Yenka has left us, my hair's even returning back to its original color. It's quite a blessing from the God Emperor, I must say.
Indeed. Don't worry. Things will be back to normal, and we'll grow older by the minute as soon as we're back to business as usual, I believe. And I'll smile a bit. But yeah, you do look a lot better now.
Well, I should be. I just got a clean bill of health, and I don't have anything to worry about. And he kind of nudges you as he walks past, like, yes, nothing to worry about. Well,
Okay,
sister, good luck on your duties, and I hope the new crew don't cause you any trouble, or the old crew.
I'm sure they both will, but it's part of the job, isn't it? Oh, smile. Magnus, I think a heavyweight was just lifted from your shoulders. I think you should probably go celebrate.
Magnus is like, oh yeah, I think that's I think a drink and a cigar, not the not those ones. No.
God, no, not those ones.
You notice.
Emperor attack, God, Emperor, no.
You should burn those, man, and like throw them into a furnace.
Yeah. Also, as you say that, just roll me an awareness test.
Both of us?
Magnus specifically.
And before it turns out we've got one of our backup characters just stood in the room waiting to be sent somewhere.
No, you don't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Magnus, you hear a bunch of footsteps down the end of the hallway, but probably just a guard or something.
Well, I will leave you to your duty, sister. Once they're done, by all means, come by the officers' lounge. I'm sure you'll find me there celebrating.
Oh, as soon as I'm clear, I'll over here because I do have a data slate I need to check. I'll make a slight bow to Magnus as he's leaving.
Magnus bursts out laughing. Yeah, don't do that again.
Attila was smiling the entire time after the procedure, just like, dodge the bullet. Hopefully.
Well then, shall we time skip to Felicia?
Sure.
Yep.
Well then, how would you like to go about covertly attempting to determine the contents of these crates? It's
I have an auger array.
okay. Roll detective.
Yeah, it's not even subtle. It's not even I've got to be subtle because I've already said scanning for technical faults in the thing. Just need to knock off a point of tech use because I can't use Mechadendrite for this.
You will be rolling this at a -10.
Knock off a degree of success.
Yeah, not that really matters. Which of the three? Which is this for all of them, or is this one in specific?
Wait, how many crates are?
3.
I mean, I'd have probably gone for all of them, but since I know it was more than one, I can roll multiple times, I guess.
No, because if you do one by one, I need to know which crate it is, and the -10 applies for each of them separately.
Let's
But
do
if you
all
do
at
them
once.
all in one go, yeah, all in one go means that the bonus is all tallied up, which means instead of a -10, it's a -30. So that is a 43, 26 to 43. You notice that one of the crates appears to have a content that is. Your scanner shows up saying that the contents of this crate are high in calcium.
Oh,
The second one contains notable traces of various metals that would be shiny if properly cleaned. Stuff like gold, silver.
oh, so they're precious metals.
Well, not necessarily precious because there's also brass in there. But just if you polish brass, it looks really shiny. So, and crate 3. Oh yeah, there's definitely some fucking weapons in there. Specifically, highly explosive weapons, but the scanner also comes back with saying these are maybe some ill-kept weapons, so probably not best for use.
Ah, so somebody's improperly storing crack.
More like just faulty launches and stuff like that. Faulty launches and guns. Large guns, though.
Yeah, I'll compile it up discreetly, hide it among the maintenance reports that I end up giving to Magnus regularly, and deliver it to him.
Okay. Magnus, upon hearing. You may roll logic, yes.
Okay, so Magnus sits back in his office, in his library, and he starts reading the reports, and he rolls logic. Not bad for, without that minus.
That was a good roll.
Without that minus 20, he would have been successful.
Only he had logic. Could I also roll logic?
You'd be rolling at a minus 20 because this doesn't initially make sense to you.
Okay, no. Actually, no. I got pretty good odds still. I'm gonna try, just because I've actually got quite a few surprise knowledge, like lore skills.
If Attila does get informed of this, can I roll Forbidden Lore Zenus General?
Sure.
Attila would be informed. Basically, I would probably say if I don't inform Attila.
Okay.
Well, I have no idea.
I'm assuming you keep Sarah out of the loop.
I'm gonna fake
this.
You all assume it's okay. If you're gonna fade it, see.
Nope.
No, that's natural 100.
Nope,
Felicia?
not me.
Felicia, what you think? As these must be the most degenerate fucking pirates ever, and probably the reason this calcium concentration is because probably they've been on the ship too long and all their teeth have fallen out.
Magnus would inform Sister Sarah, but it'd be discreetly. He'd go and actually speak to her. He wouldn't do it over comms.
Can I roll logic then?
You may roll logic too.
At minus...
Minus 20.
Many things I need to beef up. Jeez.
Nope. All of you just think...
I
Okay.
have to fate.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, did we get a fate refresh, or are we still
Yes.
going on what we... Okay.
Fate refresh.
Nope. No, these are degenerate fucking pirates. Even though out of character, I know exactly who they are.
We all know who you are, but...
As Magnus is going through the report, he's like playing with a trinket from his past, and he's just running it through his fingers, and he can't figure out what it's for.
Felicia's feeling somebody else is doing work on my patient.
Magnus, roll again, but this time at a plus 20.
Okay.
Oops.
Hey, that was at plus 20?
That was
was a net.
Oh, sorry, no, that was, yeah, it was a plus.
Still a
10.
failure.
You shortly look at your trinkets, but you do it absent-mindedly, and you just go flipping around it around through your hand again, not really actually looking at it.
Sounds about right.
Just out of character, this is going to be so bad.
It's fine. We've got the unkillable machine, the other unkillable machines, and we have Magnus.
I mean,
Also, we apparently have an immolator tank, so...
exactly. We have a fucking tank now.
I'm pretty sure nobody but Magnus can drive, but...
After one session, I can drive it.
I can drive now, technically. It came with my character.
Well then, shall we skip forward 2 more days to where you leave the warp?
I assume that in the brief intermission between our adventures, I was not able to acquire any good paints, like specifically good paints.
Actually, can
What
I
do you
roll
mean by
anything?
specifically good paint?
Say good quality or best quality even.
Roll me
If
the appropriate
possible,
requisition test.
if possible, Magnus would have tried to at least assist with an item like that.
What was best? Minus 30?
Best is a minus 30. But Magnus may also roll for this if he wants to.
Could I give
paint,
another?
so-
I was gonna say, could I give another plus 10? Okay, actually no, I'll roll. It's alright. So who would I be getting this from? Like, I'm guessing I can't get this from the Mechanicus. Could I get this from
you
the
would have gotten.
Inquisition?
You would have gotten this back on the planet where you were stationed while your ship was undertaking retrofits in the shipyard.
Okay, right, I'll roll it for that.
Just so I'm reminded of what order.
He gets all the paint.
Oh, sorry, I
You
didn't put a
get-
minus 30 on though. Sorry.
Yeah, this
You still massively succeed. You get here some of the finest bloody paints that planet had to offer. Turns out it was actually a planet that had a really bustling art market.
perfect.
What order are we part of now, by the way?
We're still technically part of the Lord Inquisitor's Ordo.
Okay, so
once-
there's-
You were already allowed to choose your Ordo should you succeed this mission, so that would be the Ordo Machinum.
Okay.
How much paint is that? Like
Enough.
quantity?
About a room full?
I was gonna say, Jack, you could have just used enough. Or used farmer values, shitloads.
Yes.
Well, I'm just gonna spend my downtime trying to paint the best portrait ever.
Okay.
Is there any new information I can gather from the data slate?
Well, there
Was
goes
it-
all of your Xena's luck.
That paint is ridiculously good, and you make a ridiculously good portrait. Who is the portrait of?
Of my patron, my order's patron saint, the Alicia Dominica herself.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. You just look at this, and you leave it out to dry with the like a guard outside. The guard just peeks and is like, just his jaw just drops, and he just falls to his knees and starts praying.
Isn't it funny? Sister Sarah makes holy
Can I say
painting.
that this is the scene where Alicia Dominica leaves the throne room of the Imperial Palace?
Yeah. You have the feeling that this thing would belong in like the grand cathedral of the ecclesiarchy, and they would probably pay very good money for that. So note down that you have this really good painting.
I just put it as best quality painting.
I was gonna say best.
Let's
Now
put
there's
it on
just
the,
one best.
let's put it under near unique painting.
Holy shit!
Like I said, best.
You should give it a title.
And remember
Okay.
this too.
I'm gonna think about this.
Remember this too. Yes. Since we're sisters, technically that's probably a holy painting.
Probably, yeah.
Well done. Shall we time skip to when you leave the vault?
Sure, I'm fine with that.
Okay then.
Actually, can I get anything from reading any new information from reading the data slate Magnus gave me? Or not really?
What would you like to find out about it?
Just more specifics, because I've done autopsies on the Xenas. I would like to know
Roll
more.
me a Medicaid intelligence.
Okay.
Well, that's going successfully.
My bonus
But-
apply for Task Origin? Or no?
Your bonuses do not apply. You are at a -10 for this.
Okay. This isn't going to be as great. Yep, no, never mind.
This is there is an audio file attached, but it is some high up Magos biologist of the Adeptus Mechanicus talking, and you cannot follow his terminology at all.
Yeah,
Maybe just the mission is stressing you out too much to truly follow what he's saying.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll try that later.
Hey guys, are you ready to arrive in system?
I believe so.
Alert! 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 Leaving warp space. Alert! Alert!
Magnus makes his way to the bridge.
Leaving warp space. Then just an entire shudder just violently goes through the ship as it once more enters real space.
Often probably
To the
forgets
Gulai
that
system.
we're supposed to re-enter today, and then gets drunk, and he's sort of fallen over off of his chair somewhere.
Okay. Is everybody else gathered in the bridge, or where is everybody?
But we'll head towards the bridge as soon as she hears the alarm.
I'm gonna...
I'll try and make my way there, but pretty slowly, just stumbling.
Okay.
Considering that I seem to also be doing a lot of the being in charge of the actual maintenance mechanicus, I'm probably busy directing them.
Okay. Yeah, considering
Sarah
that
is also
the rest of the
gonna be...
mechanicus are just dead. So.
Sarah also is going to be in a bridge, and she's going to be looking representative, so I'll have my power armor on.
Okay. Magnus, of course, is also going to be at the bridge.
Yep.
Magnus, were you already at the bridge, or were you going to the bridge?
Magnus was going to the bridge.
Okay, in that case, when all of you arrive, you may determine the order for yourself, doesn't really matter here. But the ambassador is already there, standing beside the captain.
Ambassador, good to see you again.
Yes, equally so, Lord Bloodstone. The Mechanicus have managed to fix my voice modulator.
Ah, excellent, excellent. Do you taste yellow? No, never mind.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Like piss or?
I do not understand the statement, Lord Bloodstone, but no, I do not taste
never
yellow.
mind then, I just taste yellow and I'm not quite never mind.
In any case, it appears the other vessel is already in system, behind the, well, not behind, but orbiting the gas giant near the outer edges of the system. We should be able to reach them in 3 days, but we are already in communication range.
Magnus takes a seat in the captain's chair, possibly moving the captain out of the way, or expecting him to move. He takes a seat.
The captain has his own chair, but there's a specific chair on a pedestal behind that, especially for you.
Ah, the inquisitorial throne. Magnus sits on it rather magnificently.
The captain just looks bemused.
Can we bring the ship onto the view screen? Can we get a look at it, or is it obscured from us?
Sensors are currently still trying to make out the exact specifics of the ship, but it appears they are already hailing us. Ambassador?
By all means, Ambassador, this is what you're here for.
I am ready. Open comms.
Low stick lit.
Hello. This is the Brightjaw. Who might we be in contact with? This is the Storm Shield under the command of Inquisitor Bloodstone. We are here for our trade arrangement. Ah, excellent. I'm sure that my compatriots will be just delighted to hear the good news. Travel distance says you're about 2 to 3 days away. We will make preparations on our end. Do not try to screw us over. I know you haven't in the past, but I just keep repeating it. And with that, communications are cut. As just now, the image of the ship is brought up. It is a it appears to be an almost scrap-heaped version of a Dauntless light cruiser. Like it still sort of has the shape of a Dauntless light cruiser, but just with extreme amount of extra just heavy armor strapped to the front. The guns just the guns seem to have been just ludicrously upgraded, but in a strange manner. And the rest of the ship just looks like a scrap heap that somehow is not falling apart.
So what you're saying, it looks closer to Space Hulk than the Imperial vessel.
Can I send this image to brother Felicia down in the engineering?
Yes.
I think...
Brother Felicia, can you look at this and tell me if this is normal?
I think that Brother Felicia will probably say in her own words that is a abomination of sorts.
Captain, I want full auger ray specs. I want to know if anything else is out there.
It's a flying scrap heap.
We're already sweeping the rest of the system, but we can get some more accurate readings on the ship itself if you want.
By all means, I want everything you can give me.
Okay, I will quickly need to go onto your character sheet, Magnus.
Sure. My gut's not feeling too good about this.
Also, I assume I don't need to roll to know somebody completely rebuilt a Dauntless light cruiser badly.
Sort of. Okay, that's a plus 15 for detection.
One moment. People are just knocking on my door.
So, we have specifically scanned the prow of the ship that is currently heading towards us. This seems to be almost a bit of a large dent in it beneath all that armor. Pardon my words, but that almost looks like some sort of ghastly jar or something.
Zoom in on that.
Now we're also getting... yes, sir. He needs to make another roll. So there's something with the... we can't get a more exact reading of its exact structure. The ship is too far away, but we did notice a large energy source is located near the prow behind all that armor.
And when Felicia finally stops going, does not compute at the horrific design, she's gonna ask, why are you showing her a picture of a Space Hulk?
Because it's currently flying towards us. From seeing the jaw, or the sketchy, pic recording of the jaw, would I see that and go, that's very orky?
Roll me a 1d100. It does remind you of something, yes. You may make a logic test at a plus 20.
I wonder who succeeded the old chain beard.
The God Emperor wills it. As Magnus starts running
As
his
that,
hand
you
through a
start looking at
memento.
more deep. You start looking very intently. You start spinning your trinket in your hand again. And then your eyes slowly shift from the ship to your trinket. And then back to the image of the ship. And then back to the trinket. And then your eyes slightly go to, like, you look to the upper left corner, you start thinking to yourself, the calcium, metals, by the Emperor.
By the throne, Captain, shields to full. Get us reversing backwards. Magnus turns to the diplomat. Why are we dealing with an orc ship?
It is not technically an orc ship, sir.
Orcs.
I would like you to keep us at extreme range, Captain. At extreme range. If they hail us, buy for time.
Sir, it is not an orc-controlled vessel, sir.
Would I enter at this point, or would I still be stumbling
Yes,
up?
you would drunkenly stumble into the room at this point.
What would I roll to try and conceal drunkenness?
Fellowship.
I was gonna say, to see how drunk he is, there's toughness.
Why?
Yeah, but he's trying. I mean, toughness would work for
He already stated he's drunk. Now he's trying to hide it, so it's fellowship.
He's just collapsing into the brick.
You forget there's a bit of a ledge there. You just faceplant right into the room.
And there comes the Psyker.
So
It's probably like as the ship starts to reverse, I'd like and fall in.
you wouldn't feel the immediate because the ship needs to turn in order to go reverse. So this is completely unnecessary. We just need to go back. It's coming towards us. We meet halfway between our location and the gas giant, and we'll conduct the trade properly.
So, first things first, that gas giant. What kind of, how will it affect the machine spirits? Can we, read anything inside of it? Or is that just a perfect place for an ambush and we're gonna walk our lily white asses straight up there?
Why are you concerned about the gas giant, sir? We're not going to be anywhere near it.
How will it affect... We're dealing with orcs here, and for my dealing with them, expect the unexpected. If we're going to meet, it's going to be in the middle of space where there is nothing that can affect our senses, and I would expect an auger raid to be running at all times.
That is precisely the plan, my lord. That's why they're coming towards us as well, and we're not just going towards them.
And when you say this is not an entirely orc-controlled vessel, what do you mean? Explain this.
Technically, half of the... Well, not half, but a part of the crew had been delivered to them in a prior transaction. They are not the typical orcs. They are mercenaries.
I'm sorry.
Not interested in raiding imperial worlds. They have bigger fish to hunt.
I'm sorry. What do you mean?
Mercenaries?
What do you mean they have been delivered humans to them?
As a token of trust, several, well, diplomats, such as the one you probably heard on the Vox just now, as well as several non-mechanicus engineers and weapon experts were given to this erstwhile ally as a token of mutual trust and respect.
Magnus lights another low stick.
I do hope those people you delivered are still transmitting, information, because this is a rather weird arrangement.
We can hail them again if you want to.
How is the Lord Inquisitor connected to this?
He presumed a bounty to hunt down, which is the package was supposed to pick up. And no, I have been not informed of what this package is that is above my pay grade.
Can I roll lore inquisition to see if, there are cases where inquisitors actually used orcs, or...
You may roll. Yes.
Captain, stop the reverse. Bring us a full ahead stop for a moment.
Okay. Do you wish me to hail the vessel, sir?
No, we'll just wait here.
Oh,
I want all
Yes.
gun
Okay.
crews at their ready, by the way.
Yes, I will give the command. Sir, you do know that this comes to a naval engagement. They outclass us heavily.
Yes.
We would not last more than half a week in naval combat.
You get a little bit of a, I'm too young to die. As I stumble up off my face.
It's a good
Sir,
thing Felicia would
Pointedly move closer to Oftane.
Magnus
you
looks
know-
down at Ulftane, smiles, and only the insane have enough strength to survive, and, well... Let's get everyone
Okay.
in their position, shall we? Just in case.
I'll say.
The diplomat is in the background just walking with his stick and just circles like, oh, bloody hell, why this particular... You just sent me along with the previous one. Ugh.
Wait, what's wrong with this guy?
Are you referring that to him or not?
Yeah, we'll point with like a
just-
now empty glass of whiskey.
He just raises his head. First of all, you are very, very drunk. Second of all, your inquisitor here is currently complicating an already complicated situation that we are dealing with on behalf of the Lord Inquisitor.
I am taking
Ambassador,
precautions.
Ambassador, I do hope you in the future will show more respect to the Inquisitor.
I'll just
I
laugh and
told
go.
him beforehand if he wanted the information, I would have told him.
I'll just pat Magnus on the back and be like, "Come on now, I can't be that bad. What's up, man? Come on, tell me."
So, you didn't think it was important enough to inform us that we were meeting an orc-held vessel?
I told you if you wish to know, I would tell you. Otherwise, I was under instructions to keep as much as the information secret in case the crew might find out.
Are all diplomats such weasels, or are you a special case?
We do
Nah,
understand.
they're all like
I-
this, man.
I
Don't worry.
graduated top of my class.
So he's
Ambassador,
a special weasel.
Ambassador.
I move within 5 meters of Oftane.
Ambassador, we do understand need to know basis, but this is need to know. So next time, do not be so insolent as to keep this sort of information from us. Now,
Do you
the
realize that your Lord and Master... Do you realize that currently your Lord and Master is still just a professional Inquisitor?
So he's good at it, or what does that mean?
Sir, I would remind you to remember your place as an ambassador. And Magnus gives him this real high noble looking down on a peasant's look. Just this really droll look on his face.
He
And
just
I'll
says,
remind you this ship is under my command, and if you were to go disappearing out of an airlock...
Accidents
Who
do
cares?
happen
he
in the
just
ship, so you
stares
know that,
back
right?
at you with a gaze of steel and fire, like just
Oh,
unflinching.
motherfucker.
I'll just
where
flip
is
between both of
Intimidate?
them and then take a sip of my whiskey, but it's actually just an empty glass because
Intimidates level with fellowship.
I don't have Intimidate, so I'm going to just stare at him.
Do keep in mind, boy, I have dealt with far more dangerous inquisitors than you.
Oh,
Captain,
hell
hail the
no.
vessel.
Can
Hang
I
on
try
one
to
second.
intimidate him?
So,
I do have
I just
intimidate.
want to quickly have a look. On my roll, does it say is this the reason why I don't have it? Because I can do it with my fellowship, with my what's it called? Fate.
The captain is asking your permission if he should indeed hail the vessel at the orders of the ambassador.
Hell no, motherfucker! I'm not having. Right, so intimidate. If I fail.
God damn it! I'm re-rolling this.
Actually, do I do this with strength or fellowship? Oh, actually, no. I'll do it with strength.
Either way, you get degree success equal to your willpower bonus.
God,
So
fuck.
I
My
fail.
rolls.
I use a fate point to automatically pass with 4 degrees of success at intimidating him into holding
You
his
just
tongue.
look at him as he slightly shrivels back, and then you notice a faint glow in both of his bionic eyes. Do not try anything.
So that's how he gave us steel glaze.
It's fortunate that that was just a threat, but it has weight behind it. Be respectful now, will you?
By the way, GM, our character, is there still an image of the ship up on the screen, or
Yes.
is there any heraldry on that ship?
It's our ship.
Um,
I think
Yeah.
you're. Oh, is he asking about the game or in?
no. The ship in the
Oh.
on the screen in your ship right now.
Okay.
So the orc ship.
Matilda will approach Magnus and whisper, although we should probably space him, I don't think it would be wise to do so, and since this is a trade arrangement all Lord Inquisitor arrange, we should probably play along, but we should also be careful not to be taken by surprise.
Magnus smiles and nods and just
So they are hailing us.
Wait, so is there any heraldry, or that?
There is.
Can I
But
roll
it
heraldry?
is currently, you can see that there are traces of heraldry, but the image is currently not refined enough to see properly.
Keep in mind, we're on the edge of the system, and this thing's like in the middle of the system.
No, it's not. It's also on the edge, but it's on like
The opposite edge.
not the opposite edge, but like a quarter edge away.
Captain,
It's still a long
take us
way.
forwards half speed and
Be ready if shit
open the
wants to fight.
comms. I'll
Okay,
speak to him.
he presses the. What's this button do? Yumi, what's this button do? Get away from that, you. Okay. Something's blinking. Oh, bloody hell they are. Yes, what is it? Sorry. Yes, what is it?
I am Magnus Bloodstone. I have been informed of your crew complement. I am in command of this vessel and I have decided to take further precautions. We will approach your ship at half speed whilst you continue at your current pace. Our weapons will be armed and our shields will be up. I hope you understand I'm taking these precautions because of the Xenos aboard. I'm not trying
What you
to...
call me, Yumi? Captain, could you please be quiet? Yes.
Nah. There's a little giggle for me in the background.
I am not going to back out of this deal. I just think it's appropriate to take precautions. That's all.
Okay. How about we do it this way? If you are uncomfortable approaching the Brightjaw, we can simply send out a shuttle containing the cargo, and you do the same.
Good work.
Well, I could be on that shuttle.
I'm gonna microbeat Magnus. You think we could, put our revered ambassador on that shuttle?
Hey, Ambassador, if you's gonna send out a shuttle, I's gonna be on it. Hey, very well, Captain.
Oh, I'd love to meet one of these things. It looks so cool.
Says the drunk man, like probably face down, about to vomit.
You can
No, I
also
got myself up. I am currently trying to drink out of an empty glass.
Magnus, on your on one of the consoles near your chair, there's also a blinking button that says "Establish video link."
I look down
Okay.
at the button. I look up at the
Retcon.
screen. I look down at the button. I look up at the screen. And you can, every time the orc speaks, you can tell there's like a vein in Magnus's forehead, which all of a sudden just goes massive.
Oh
I
shit.
press the button.
You will not. Where's my agility?
Can I press it with a with
Oh, God.
telekinetic controller?
Okay, roll awareness to see if you actually see it off time because you was just piss drunk. Roll a -30.
-30.
You are drunk, and under normal alcohol rules, you'd have a shit ton of fatigue now.
Perfect
He
start to
definitely
the
doesn't
campaign. Off-time, you start puking in a corner. Captain does not look amused.
Wait, why would I throw up because I don't notice something? Can I not
Because
just make it tough?
you're throwing up is distracting you from seeing it.
Olftane's just hitting another button, and every now and then the audio from the bridge is being broadcast. No, let's not do that. Every
No,
now and then
he's
the
just
shutters just keep coming down.
Oh no, he just keeps reconnecting to Felicia, who at this point, like the moment you kind of told her, yeah, that thing's still flying, and she was no longer needed, she disconnected, so she could go back to doing her job, and she keeps hearing over her microbead just random bits of conversations from the bridge.
Random bits of
As well as that, the fact that because Off-time is puking on the bridge, a servitor just comes in with a mop attached to one of his arms.
Sarah is pointedly standing within 5-meter range to make Often as uncomfortable as humanly possible.
He's already throwing up, so that's working.
Can I
fine.
throw up on her shoes?
No,
Don't you dare.
you're facing the other
Ballistic
way.
skill,
Can I-
-30.
If I know, yeah, but if I feel like she's near me, I will just go
No.
around and throw up on her.
Not this time.
Can I?
GM
Later.
says no.
Oh.
GM says no. You're already puking too heavily to focus it.
Magnus, fine. We'll send out a shuttle, but I will not have any important personnel aboard. Only those.
I insisted I'd be on that shuttle.
Oh, you did now. Well, excellent. The ambassador will be on board.
Excellent. Oh, you mean that all skits coming back? I hate that guy.
I'm gonna just
Two
shout
veins
loud enough
appear
so
on
the
Magnus's forehead, like massive veins. One from hearing the orc, the second that Magnus agrees with an orc. What the?
Wait,
I'm
wait,
just
did I
gonna-
miss them? What was
Can
the
I
agreement?
They both agree that they hate the ambassador.
Can I shout loud enough so the comm picks up that glad we're in agreement?
You can.
I'm gonna then.
Okay. And that you just hear it. Hey, these are good you, mates. Alright. Hey, you coming with me, just two of us, and one of them pilot kits, and we're gonna live with that stuff. I wanna meet this Inquisitor boy. He sounds fun.
We go on ship, accidentally become captain of orc ship by killing this guy.
Magnus makes a sign to like kill comms, just like across his throat, just kill comms.
Mute.
Yes. Okay, and well, if that's the arrangement, we will send out the shuttle immediately. Yes, until a few days.
Primarch himself would have to bitch slap me into the next Imperial year before I let an orc onto my vessel. Who in the looks over at the ambassador. You're gonna tell him that unfortunately he is not allowed on my ship.
It's just a shuttle, Magnus. We can always burn the shuttle later.
But
Captain, do we have any pilots other than Felicia?
But that means I
We
have
have
to
the
go.
serfs.
We have 4,000 people inside the ship. I think we have a few pilots.
Yes, this ship has a crew of 26,000 people, of which 5,000 are currently soldiers, but yeah.
I'm just saying, the last time you gave us somewhat agreeable orcs, I remember how that turned out.
Yeah, they ran away like fucking
not
bitches.
agreeable.
No, we murderized them with a greater demon.
Oh, no, that's a different campaign. Completely different campaign.
I really gotta ask, is there any relation to Chainbeard here? Cause I miss that fella. Bless his little green heart.
Chainbeard was fucking amazing. You haven't established a visual link. You haven't asked the war boss's name, so the captain's name.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not Chainbeard because I remember him getting smooshed.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Chainbeard is pretty much dead, but he could be Chainbeard.
Chain Face.
Is he like a relative of Taserface?
Okay. But yeah, are you sending out the ambassador with his guard retinue and the cargo and a pilot? 2 pilots to be precise. Are you sending that out?
I would. Magnus sits and thinks for a moment and looks around at the crew, at his team who are on board, and then looks down at Ulftane, who's throwing up, and I have a really bad feeling about this, but sure, we'll send them.
Don't worry, Magnus. It's just part of our newly appointed job.
Ambassador, one thing, if he tries to come aboard my ship, you tell him no, you message us, and I will come out in another ship. If he is that insistent, then I'd rather risk myself than the crew and the entire ship. Well, and you lot, you'll be coming
Sir,
with me.
I'll be on a shuttle going towards their ship while that is happening.
You can still calm us. It's still got Vox, for Emperor's sake.
Very well, I will try my best. You have my word.
And you have my word that I'll try my very best to keep you alive if anything bad happens. Magnus gives him a little smile.
And crosses his fingers behind his back.
No. The Lord Inquisitor needs, we have to bring this idiot back.
Does it say we have to bring him back, though?
Yeah.
It does. It's
Lord
part of the
Inquisitor
job
wants to-
description.
But hey, if the Lord Inquisitor executes for being too dumb to live, it's not our fault he died.
It has to be plausible.
So,
Yeah, he stumbled into an airlock, and the airlock was suddenly closed. It didn't open, spacing him. We don't know
the
why.
machine spirit malfunction. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Magnus radios to Felicia. Brother Felicia, how difficult would it be to put explosives on the ambassador's ship without him noticing? And so that we can rig it up. In case it gets taken over, we can
Magnus, we shouldn't be harsh.
Hell of a negotiator, though, isn't it?
The ambassador is already out of the room, by the way, at this point.
Yeah, I assume that was the case. Also, do I even know this like actually concealing explosives inside our lander things? Because I remember checking one for explosives repeatedly.
You can technically rig the ignition system to explode.
That hardly helps us. That seems like
Yeah,
a real last-ditched effort.
Well,
Yeah, I
no,
don't really want to
that
set up a car bomb.
that would blow up. So what I'm thinking is, if the orcs take over the ship and they do double cross us, we can just go, oh no, doot doot, boof, blow it up at distance and be like, well, you know, it was York's fault.
Oh no.
I mean, first problem, you'd know Felicia will be able to say first problem, I need time. How long would I have? Secondly, do you wish for it to be hidden? That requires a lot of movements of important components to disguise it.
You'd have about 5 hours before the dude actually reaches the land with his retinue and the cargo.
Yeah, and I'd already have to like refit the entire damn lander to hide the explosives in it. Properly hide them.
Fair enough, brother Felicia. Duly noted. I'll tell you what. If you could arrange for the landers when their next maintenance cycle goes around, if we could have these kill switches installed just in case, but only upper echelon have access. That kind of yeah.
I will
Put it on the docket.
I will look into seeing if there are any mechanicus rendered designs for such a device. The
Excellent.
typical
excellent.
designs are remote lockdowns based through Voxcaster.
Excellent. By all means, do as much research and put as many materials as you like into this. It's a good idea for the future, but, well, Captain, keep locked on to the shuttles and keep me appraised, I guess. Thank you, brother.
I now have a
Felicia.
use for unforbidden law. Mechanicus rigging up ships to explode.
Gives our tech priest something to do.
The tech priest is busy doing like 4 jobs. She's being the
you've
lead
got
tech
an arm.
adept,
You've got
and
an
she's
army of.
divergent.
You've got an army of tech priests to be like, go and do that, go and do this. I'm gonna go and fuck with
Yeah,
something.
but don't forget,
Ooh.
the Mechanicus are only slightly smarter than your average serf.
Yeah.
I still gotta stop the one that's like, I'm gonna put my optical mechadendrite into this important part. Nearly gets it crushed. Because that mechadendrite's more important than his life.
I'm gonna put this mechadendrite inside that toaster.
So, Magnus, anything particular we should know about orcs other than they're filthy savages and enemies of man? Sarah says as she absentmindly reaches for the place on her face when she fell on the burner.
If I might be so curious to ask, why would we need a kill switch implanted into our lighters anyway?
So, the Lord Inquisitor was kind enough to arrange a deal with, as far as I can tell, a ship that is infested with orcs. So I'm taking precautions for the future and for general thinking to try and you can tell in Magnus's voice that he's really unhappy and angry about this, and he's just thinking of ways to put his anger to other places. Just some kill switches, some general things that could fuck with an orc's plan.
Would you like me to attend to make sure that nothing untoward happens?
Oh hell no. At the moment, we're sending the diplomat and his entourage out in one of the landers with the Inquisitor's crates. They're gonna do a business arranged transaction out in space, and hopefully the lander with the diplomats delegation will come back to us unscathed.
I'll go prepare a second lander then.
Just in case, I have a really bad feeling that I'm gonna have to go out there in another lander to do something. If that happens, then of course everyone to battle stations and we'll all be going for a nice little trip.
Okay. You guys done, or
think so.
Guess I prep a second lander just in case.
Okay. In that case, after a couple of hours, everything properly departs. The captain informs you that indeed a single shuttle, just a single shuttle, has departed from the other vessel and is heading towards you. And it launched about around slightly earlier than the shuttle came from your ship, and is heading just straight for you.
Would Magnus blow that shuttle out of space? No, his boss is his boss.
But he'll probably be right next to you saying like, resist! Don't blow them up.
Okay, so after a couple of... The shuttles are actually faster than the regular voice ships because they have a better thruster to mass ratio. So they actually managed to arrive just in about 15 hours. So, would you like to do anything in those 15 hours? And would you allow the shuttle to land when it asks for docking permission? The pilot is a human voice.
So don't you mean the two shuttles are meeting in space, or are we actually having an orc ship attached to ours and...
Your shuttles come to our ship, I think.
The shuttle from the orc vessel is requesting docking permission, whilst the shuttle that came from your vessel is currently probably doing the same to the orc vessel. You're still about, like, in terms of how long it would take your ship to travel to the other ship, still about, like, 2 days.
If the two shuttles wish to dock, that's fine.
It's a single shuttle, by the way, that's asking docking permissions, but...
Yeah, what's going on is this. Their shuttle has come to us with their cargo, by the sounds of things. We think, at least we've got to think that. And they're trying to dock with us, while our shuttle, with the ambassador on, has gone all the way over to the other ship without meeting up midway.
So it's my worst fear then. In that case, I would have all the serfs removed from a docking bay that I'd make available to the shuttle. I'd have all the elite troopers assigned in that area. I'd inform Latilla, and we would have... If we could get the fucking immolator, the tank ready and in position, we would. But I don't think we can, so we're going to have
The
all
immolator
arms.
tank is surprisingly close to the hangar base.
I would tell... tell whoever needs to get that thing ready, down the corridor, waiting, engines running. So if we need it, it can come charging through. We'll melt the orc filth out of our ship.
You sure that's a wise idea, Magnus? The orcs may like it so much that they may just try to bargain for it.
Don't. It'll be out of sight. I want it down the hallway, so if we need it, it can move up. Or if the orcs break out of the hangar bay, we can fry them immediately. I don't want to take any precautions here, people. This is the highest risk I can think of. Well, except from Gene Stealers being led aboard, but we've already dealt with that.
Okay. So,
Yeah, good old memories.
are you going down to the docking bay?
Yes, Magnus will tell the captain, keep an eye on our shuttle and the orc ship, keep scanning. I'm going down to lead the assault or the trade or whatever it is.
Okay. So, as the vessel docks, it's a slightly more orky looking Arvas lighter, which means when I say more orky, it means more armor, more thrusters. That's basically it. And it sets down in your hangar.
As Magnus gets to the position and he's like, men over there, you take positions here, firing squad over there, you take cover here and wait for our orders.
You do notice
Magnus
that
gets a
there
horrible
is actually...
feeling. What the
You
hell
do
are they
notice
bringing
there's
aboard?
actually on the front of this orky looking Arvas lighter, there is actually still an Imperial Aquila on the front of it. Like, just shiny and gold.
What in the hell are they
proper.
bringing aboard our ship? As Magnus gets to the airlock, like, oh fuck.
Redirect Magnus if I can.
Okay, to fucking rogue trader.
Lieutenant's just beside Mags, like, calm down. Just get it through this. Let's not start any bloodshed.
The doors of the Arvus are open, and the first things that come out are actually 4 humans in relatively standard, like, Imperial Guard gear, although, again, slightly bulkier. They don't carry, as far as you can tell, they don't carry lance rifles. They carry just bulkier auto guns, and they just in just perfect organized fashion, like in a square, walk out in front of them, and then just like sort of stand and parade for what comes next out of it. And you just see this massive orc lumber out, but for an orc, like relatively like disciplined how he walks out. And I'm going to describe this orc for you. This orc is you've met Astartes before. This orc is about the same size as an Astartes in full power armor, maybe even slightly larger. He has a very orky looking cybernetic left arm. He has a really big fancy hat with a golden aquila on the front of it. A really big gun just strapped to his back, and on his belt. Now is what is no wait. First, his face. You can see that it like the bottom part of his face. It's almost as if this orc has a beard, but it's entirely made out of like gold linked chains. And on his belt is what really on one side is this giant fuck off chopper. And on the other side of this belt you can see by the Emperor, those are heads of Gene Sealers, and is that the head of a fucking demon that he has hanging from his belt? And he just walks out slowly forward. He stops a respectful distance away, turns around, and just calmly motions for a couple of for 2 regular boys to come lifting out with a giant crate. And behind that walks out a very flamboyant looking man in just purple and gold embroidered just luxury gear with a ridiculous pimp cane and a silver half face mask.
Okay, now one I did not anticipate. I did not quite anticipate that outcome.
You just hear a whistle come from Altane.
Well, hello there! How are you?
Alright, thanks mate. How are you doing?
Ah, thank you. Are you the Inquisitor?
And then I'll look to Magnus.
Alftain, shut up, you're so drunk.
Okay, he is the
He doesn't need to know that. Then I'll start laughing.
Also, I was going to say, 15 hours later, I think Alftain probably passed out, woke up about an hour before, hasn't had a chance to get drunk yet.
Or, immediately got back to drinking because it's Alftain.
Hello,
Wait,
I am.
you probably wouldn't let me have a drink with me right now, though.
Hello, greetings, Inquisitor Bloodstone. I am Virak Solarios, and I am the official ambassador of. Here he motions to the orc that is now standing behind him. The orc just stood perfectly still behind him the entire time. Captain Goldbeard.
Wow. And I'll just look at his gold beard.
Notice is going to slightly elbow Magnus back to reality because I think Magnus'
There goes
reality
gravity.
gets shattered.
The orcs are, by the way, very slowly, very carefully, just very un-orky fashion, but the way they're actually doing this carefully. Moving
I
this
read
crate on a tray of wheels towards you.
Can I read the enemy diplomat's mind?
What in the hell is in those crates, and why are they on my ship?
Magnus, Atlas whispers. Play nice.
Who's the
Trying.
Inquisitor, kid?
He is. I'll
Magnus
say he's
makes
taking a
himself
step away
as-
from Magnus.
Magnus makes himself as big as possible, standing as
The orc gives you a salute. The orc captain just raises his hand to his hat, like, also slightly corrects because the hat was not entirely straight in his hat. He's like, nice to meet you.
Play self, Magnus.
Any
just-
case, here's your fancy package. Pleasure doing business with you. Do you need anything else, or we'll be going again?
Do we need anything else, Lord Inquisitor?
I believe, if this is all that our Lord Inquisitor asked for, then we are done here.
Alright,
Magnus.
Can I read his mind now?
what?
No, it's out of character. Sorry. Can I read the enemy?
You
diplomat's
can
mind?
try.
Yay!
Oh god, don't screw this
This
up,
is
please.
such a hilarious exchange. I love it.
I think best part is you've got Felicia, the armory, Albor, just off to the side, ready for war. It's like, I was called up here for war. Why did I... You've called me away from fixing the lander. Why?
Is this against the orc or against the human in the flamboyant clothes?
The human with the pimp cane.
Okay. He is not going to resist, so what do you want to know?
I forgot what siren I used.
Just the last thing I asked
four. Oh,
was
sorry, four.
what was in the box.
Okay, so he'll probably be thinking of that.
Yeah. So siren 1
And
is
he
just
d-
whatever's at the forefront of his mind, and then siren
Okay.
or siren 1 is, and then.
So
4
what
is just a
siren
bit
did you
deeper.
cast this?
Siren 4.
You get like a... Even though the man's smiling, you can just get this deep state of frustration, like, I wish I fucking knew.
Wait, what is he wishing you?
That
What
he
was
knew
inside
what
the
is in the box. He does not know what is in the box.
I'll say this out loud. I'll say they don't know what's in the box. The orcs might. I'm not sure though.
Oh, thing, would you fucking shut up and let these things happen?
Hey, that was you then. I thought I felt something poking my mind. In the case,
Who? What? And I'll look around.
well, that's it. Gives the shiny boy my regards. He's gave me a good old proper mini walk to go on.
Wait.
Nice.
Can I assign initiations?
Sure.
Can
say,
I
if you want-
punch Oaftane in the arm?
You won't know about this one. Also, man, is
No.
he bad at Sinisians.
No,
I.
you don't notice anything.
I am struggling
Oh,
Yeah, it's like this pace in the warp is ridiculously fucking calm considering the fact, and then you realize like, wait, I'm staring at a piece of brick. Why am I doing that?
Wait, I forgot. What's the difference between willpower senescence and perception senescence?
Perception Sinisians is used a lot in divination tree.
And if you use willpower Sinisians, it's kind of like you're trying to pick up like sort of the general flow of emotions in the field of the warp. Whereas perception Sinisians is you're trying to see traces of demonic remnants or runes or something that try to like emanate warp energy.
Can I retcon that to be willpower then? Or do you want me to
What
re-roll
would
it
your
if it's
target be
willpower? It'll be 68.
Seething just fury from Magnus, slight
Okay.
frustration from the dude with the pin cane, and just complete and utter like happiness from the orc.
Matilda is also slightly frustrated because... and intrigued.
I don't think I interfere with that one. Because he's not actively using Psi rating, so I don't think it has any mechanical effect, my presence.
I think you don't show up on it, and that's it.
Well then.
I'll just look to the orc and go, I reckon I could outdrink this one right here. And then I'll have a big smile on my face.
Yous want a drink with one of the proper boys? Yous want a drink with Captain Goldbeard?
Yeah. Let's do it, son.
Boys, do we have any grog on the ship?
Magnus, should we stop him from committing suicide?
He can go on their ship back to their ship if he can go on their shuttle back to their ship if he wants. He could gate back over here after all.
I don't think our character would nowhere near that close.
Yeah,
I don't think he can go that far.
He's drunk, does he know that?
Like,
I'm not drunk anymore. It's been 15 hours, remember?
Boss, we only have enough grog for the trip back. Alright, and you're not getting any. My grog.
What? But I just...
we can
I'm
find you
just
something from
thinking.
the ship stores later. Oh,
I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
we
we
don't
should
have
encourage
any-
him.
I
My
can tell you how
grog.
to make it though. It's real rotten proper grog. Any case, I's has business to do. So if this is it, tell the shiny boy, pleasure doing business. And we's gonna go crump some more of the demon and chaos kits. Those are fun, aren't they, boys? Yes. Yes, boss, that's good crumping. Yes, that's right. Alright then.
Octane will just be
Well,
confused and be like, what's a crumpet?
We'll just yell, give us like...
Crumping, it's the awkward for punching really, really, really hard.
Wait,
I was
who
going to say,
who
considering it's
says
an orc, he's
that?
probably demonstrating what he means by crumping.
Who says that in character?
The flamboyant guy is slowly narrating what crumping means to you.
Ah. Also, how did you know I was in your head?
The same way everyone else does.
Little's just going to smile, give a slight bow to your captain if he's going to leave, and then look at Ofting with a forced
Also,
smile like, shut the fuck up.
Before I forget, the flamboyant guy walks straight up in Magnus's direction and takes something out of his pocket.
I'm gonna say to the orc, did you know we once smushed an entire band of those demons without them even touching us?
Oi, that's mighty impressive. How's in Gorks and Mork's name did you do that?
We shot them to death
With the
and
Emperor
slashed
by
them to
our
death.
side. That's how we did it. Was that for me?
Well, sharp tools. Very sharp tools.
Fancy mangrog as well, that helps.
I'm pretty sure that helps, yes. And he just starts scratching the gold medal chains on technically his beard. Meanwhile, the flamboyant guy has now reached Magnus, and he just stands there outstretched with a data slate in hand.
Magnus reaches
Your,
out and
Your access codes, they require your genetic material to activate, just to be sure that we wouldn't enter the Alazaro system. Buzzkill. In any case, have a good day, and we'll be off again.
We will, but apparently you might not. You don't seem to be having a good day. Are you okay, man? Everything okay with you?
Oftain, by all means, let's
dude
let
that's-
our guests vacate the area.
Yeah. So yeah, and at that the flamboyant dude just flaps his purple fur with gold and silver embroidery cloak. And just flaps it, and turns around and walks back towards the Argus lighter. Is that the orcs are like, all right then, have a good one. I made you crump any of them chaos kits you come across. Real good and proper crumping.
And
I'd be off. And he just walks back into the ship.
I like him. I don't know what your issue is, Magnus.
I'm just gonna look at
Oh.
Magnus.
Oh,
So,
you watch
that
enough of your
was-
men get ripped apart by them, and you gain a hatred. Trust
Like
me.
the moment the ship's
Please, for the love
gone,
of
like,
Christ, don't say that out loud.
the moment the ship's completely gone, like you just kind of see Felicia go, How is it still flying? It
So-
wasn't standard
As
design.
the ship leaves,
Also, the captain then immediately patches us through we've got a hail from our own shuttle appears to be back en route to us.
I think
very well. Immolator team. Magnus does a circle with his hand to get everyone out of here. Immolator team, bring that tank up and bathe this place in fire. I want servitors to then scrub that filth away from my ship. Thank you.
Are the crates not still here? Should we not?
It's one giant, large, seemingly adamantium crate.
So that was an
point.
experience.
Good point, brother Felicia. That nearly caught. Please have some servitors move that crate to the secure cargo bay, and then bathe this place in fire and get that all filthy stench off my ship.
Are you sure you wish to waste the fuel for our character?
The
I keep
immolator.
mixing up the name.
Emulator.
Yeah.
Yes,
the
yes, I
immolator.
would. I would very much like to burn that filth off of my ship. I would have liked
Very
to
well
have
then.
them in the fire, but the boss orders.
Another time, Magnus. Another time.
I'm just gonna put a hand on Magnus' shoulder and say, "I told you you were jinxing us. See, your hair is bright, white, and shiny again."
You can just see little grey bits beginning to appear again.
By the way, does anyone take a closer look at the crate?
I would like to.
I mean, I
Yes.
probably got to have a look at best how to move the damn thing.
Okay.
Magnus is too angry to. He goes and has another low stick.
You notice that if you Sarah, something with this crate, the crate itself resonates with you.
As
As if it has,
in psychically?
no, as if it feels almost like an extension of like dampening the warp, kind of like you do.
I'm gonna
So I don't like it then.
I'm gonna call up Magnus. Magnus, whatever's in that crate, it's kind of like me in that it darkens the materium.
Oh joy.
Yeah, I was thinking we could maybe strap Alftain to it for a while.
That would make moving
Take a
the crate that much more difficult. Why not just let him pass
Well, we
out
first
drunk in one
move the crate,
bed?
brother Felicia, and then we strap him to the crate.
No, he got us some useful information. The diplomat didn't even know what was in the box, so that tells us something. By all means, if you can do any more investigating, poking around, just don't open the box.
No, I don't think I can do anything else without opening it, which is now the table. It's strange. Really, really strange. GM, is there anything I could roll to maybe know if there are, I don't know, some sort of items that have the same effect?
Could I roll Archaeotech? No.
How
no,
can I
probably
roll
not.
Archaeotech if this is happening? All of us know about Archaeos apparently.
Go ahead.
And is there anything I could roll?
Also, I assume it's not giving off any dangerous energy emissions, right?
It is not giving any dangerous any emissions, no. Often something about this box. You think like, oh god, no. Okay, this box, like the aura this box has, it's not exactly like an old, but it's like when that's like it feels like that thing they have on the black ship, like those black things they strap to you to make sure you don't do any psychic weird shit. It feels like that is really heavily prevalent inside this crate.
Oh, it's just like my childhood, and then I'll just have like a look of disgust on my face and regret and remorse.
Was your childhood that bad? Huh.
Don't want to talk about it. No thanks, mate.
Fair enough. Why'd you bring it up, though?
Well, this straps some stuff to you, and it stops you from. It's like a null.
Oh,
and I
so
like
you think
shiver.
you think the same as Sister Sarah then? That this thing is what would the word be? Psychically, thingy-majiggery, whatever psychers do in psychicy, that stuff.
It's like these fuckers over here, and then I point at the null on our team, and ain't got a soul, do they? Don't like jazz.
Magnus like gets up from he was like on his haunches just thinking and smoking, and he gets up, and no one likes jazz except from you, old man. But I didn't know that sister. You think Sister Sarah doesn't have a soul? That's a bit cruel.
What? I know so. What do you think a soul is, man?
Well,
you don't want
when
one
your
either,
soul
and then I'll
leaves
like
you,
have a little laugh about that one now.
you know,
Apparently you don't
when
like jazz either.
When you die, your soul leaves you and goes to the God Emperor's side, and you live in constant happiness and immortal, sunshine and all that.
Soul can't go to a nice place, mate, if you ain't got one.
If,
Kind of sad.
if this conversation is nearly till she will just look it up and say, "You do realize you're talking about a bride of the Emperor, right?"
And you do realize I'm standing right here.
And then when you say that, I'm like, oh, there's nothing wrong with not having a soul. It's just,
Sarah
it's
fixes
like,
you
you
with.
know what I mean, Magnus, right? And I look to Magnus for help.
If Sarah could
put
shoot
me-
Magnus,
laser
don't let them-
with her eyes,
don't let them
she would
prostrate
right
me.
now.
Don't
Magnum.
press gang me into this.
So,
Don't let them put me on a cross, Magnus, and I'll have a little laugh again.
working
And
now.
there'll be no sacrifice.
Okay, now it's working. Because I was just gonna say, by now, Felicia's already walked off and gone to go get the servitors. She's not stepping on this landmine.
Magnus kind of looks at Sister Sarah and, no, I've seen her painting. Now, no one can paint like that if they don't have a soul.
Have you
Didn't
seen
think it
my
was that
last?
good of a painting.
Have you seen my last piece though? The one with the paints you helped me acquire.
No, I don't believe I've been shown your latest creation.
Can I assign initiates here to see if she does have a soul or not?
I don't
Is
think
it
you
even
can.
like in the lore? Is it ubiquitous about gnolls not having a soul?
Their
or
souls
not
affect.
ubiquitous?
If it's meant to be like effectively, if a human soul goes up and out, a gnoll goes in and down. The
What?
soul's backwards and inside out to the point where it's like
Yeah,
just a
so
gap.
like I think like technically in lore the gnolls still have a soul. It has just negative warp presence.
It's like a negative soul effectively.
It's still a soul.
I
Just
The exact
would
description is a
imagine-
soul void.
I would imagine, considering the Sisters of Silence are all parts of, they're all gnolls. I imagine that in the fluff, anyway, they do go up to heaven. They do sit by the God Emperor's side, and in reality, who the fuck knows? But
Yeah, in what is claimed, they all have souls. They all go up to heaven. But in reality, they have like an inside-out soul void.
Do you want to
So
make on it
psych
then?
is-
So instead
we
of
get
saying
back
no
to the
soul,
game,
I say
please?
fucked up soul.
I quite like the conversation. I quite like the RP though. You have no soul. No, that's not possible. She paints.
Yeah, back to being
I
on
don't
topic.
see no soul.
Yes, back to the box that makes Ulfstein uncomfortable.
So retcon everything that's just happened, and
Nope.
instead of saying no soul,
Still
I
happened.
say fucked
No,
up soul.
why would you retcon that?
That was a pretty
Yeah,
good
that kind of-
It's canon now. It's canon
Okay,
now.
I'm
then.
sorry, mate, you stepped on that landmine.
And even then, like, to a psycho, it is legitimately no soul. Back to the thing. So you've got Felicia.
sat there having a theological debate about whether or not you could have a soul and paint. And it's like, who are you
Oh
working
shit! The one time I
Yeah.
don't have philosophy scholastic.
And meanwhile, you've got meanwhile, you've got Felicia just walking in with a couple of servitors starting to move the box.
If you move it by me, I'll like jump away from it and like, and then like,
It
as if I just got
doesn't
scared.
seem to be pointed outwards. It's more like what you feel is more like residue R for someone saying that's focused inwards.
Yeah, but as soon as I notice it's near me, I'm like, I just don't like it. It's like, I don't want to be near that. Ugh. Even if it doesn't make me feel uncomfortable, I'm like nervous about being around it.
Felicia takes the most efficient route. If Alftain happens to be stood in the route, well, he has to move out of the route. And knowing him, he stands in the route like 6 times.
Yes. Because he tries to get out of the way, but actually, also roll me agility.
Why you could do this to a man?
He stands in the way 5 times, not 6.
Cool. Wouldn't it be 4 times because I have 4 degrees of failure?
No, 1 more plus 1, so 5. In case, let's continue.
As the servitors begin to carry the box out to its secure holding, everyone please prepare yourselves. Once the diplomat ship gets back, we'll do the same procedure again, just in case. Think of this like a drill or exercise as Magnus starts walking out. And you can all have an extra ration. I'll be sure to tell the captain for your stellar work.
Yes, sir.
And Magnus hits his microbead. Sister Sarah, there are, I don't know how big your library has gotten, but there are several books in my my personal collection. Please feel free to use them at your leisure if you need them.
Wait.
Oh,
who was
damn
that
it,
towards,
Sarah's
sorry?
gone. No. Oh well.
Well, we'll go with Felicia, who's moving the box. She's gonna be checking to make sure it's not got anything. It's not outputting any dick signatures. There's nothing actually unusual, like a strange isotope that's falling apart. No bombs.
Very large, very heavy adamantium box.
I mean, I have an auger array. I can do the scans.
If you want to, go ahead.
Is this one tech use or awareness?
Tech use at a -30.
Still worth the try. Oh well. I get no signal through the box.
It appears that whatever is in this box is also dampening your auger signature.
Or it might just be the fact that it's an adamantium box and it's too thick for me to get a signal through.
Possibly, yes.
I might have
Sarah,
a good.
I told you whilst you were gone, if you need to look at any of Magnus's books in his library, feel free.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I'm sorry, Magnus, but Sarah would probably be squatting in your library most of the time. She's trying to establish her own, but you've got some juicy stuff in yours.
Fair enough.
She would be especially interested in the great enemy.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna. No way, I can't re-roll that because it's not perception.
You would have my permission to read that book. Our scribe should know what we're getting ourselves into.
Okay.
I assume the Great Enemy is the book about the ruinous powers of chaos.
It doesn't go into detail, but it essentially explains what the chaos. It essentially it doesn't explain what the chaos gods are, but it essentially states there are dark gods, and they are served by demons, and this is how you best can kill demons.
Okay, that's so useful, practical information.
Yes. Do you want to see who wrote it?
Look out for these 5 signs.
Very much so.
Okay.
It's going to be
Let's
Gregorius,
see.
isn't it?
It's not Gregorius.
It's the High Inquisitor.
It's the Lord. It's probably the Lord Inquisitor.
It is not the Lord Inquisitor. It is written by a man named Elzak Megera.
Nah.
Okay, this is ringing bells, but I cannot place him.
Alzak, you say?
Elzak.
I've heard Juka say that name and it scares me.
It's a demon prince. What? Nothing. What?
Corruption book written by a corrupted being.
Wait. I'm trying to... God.
Do
I
that
love-
after the session.
I was
But
gonna
we're
say,
gonna-
I'm the only person who actually know the name is the person who's not even in the party at the moment because she's not a current character. Hello? Who dropped?
Oh, it's Jim.
Jim.
Henry. Ronald Reagan.
Reagan
Why
Smash.
Reagan?
Because Reagan Smash.
Please revive,
Wait,
bro. I have Reagan.
Let's go back.
Okay, let's continue. Do you put the box back where the other cargo was stored, back behind essentially the security cordon?
Yeah, I'll make sure it's secure.
Okay. That the captain, as the shuttle lands, then that the like essentially another 20 hours later, the shuttle arrives back from the Orc ship with the ambassador on it. And he, if you're still all there, he just, with his 4 guards and stuff, he just steps out with the most smug face you've ever. You weren't even aware people could have faces this smug, and he just, in between his 4 guards that form a perfect square around him, he doesn't even say anything. He just has this smug face and just walks past you all.
Past all of us? Well, I don't think I'd still be there at this point.
Everyone who would be in the hangar, it's 20 hours later, so you could have eaten and slept and everything and be back.
And it'll also be things like Felicia who has to be there to make sure that the tech adepts she assigned are at least starting their job properly before she has to go off and do something else.
Magnus would have been there just to make sure, and he would have had a team of guards and probably had the immolator waiting just to be like, right, just in case. I see
No.
Mr. Smugface like, brilliant.
He is so smug. He isn't even properly leaning on his walking cane anymore. He's almost walking upright, just to get that extra bit of stature. Like
He's like pimp caning.
he is attempting to pimp cane. He's not really good at it, but just his face says it all. Smugness all over it.
Magnus kind of spins on his boot heel, sees that he's back. There's no problem. He'll order a set of guards to check the lander, the shuttle, to make sure that no Grox and no Gretchen snuck on board, and yeah, he'll leave. He won't say anything to. He'll see Smugface and just be like, don't say anything to him. Just everyone do your jobs.
The guards come out carrying a small box, and when you open it, there's thrones in it. It's like it's a small box with like 100 thrones in it.
Magnus kind of looks around like, what in the hell is this?
Oh yes, because I was such amenable company, they have decided to give me a parting gift. And then just turns around and keeps walking.
They gave you some pocket change. I mean, fair enough.
Are you-
Okay.
Are you sure they
They literally paid you to leave
To
them
leave.
alone.
When you say that, his face sort of sours, but he doesn't turn around anything. He just keeps walking.
Meanwhile, you've got like Felicia once again off to the side, unaware of why they're all being mean to this guy. I'm gonna go do my job.
Okay. Someone take his pocket change to his quarters. Don't let anyone steal it now. Seems very important to him.
Oh, by the way, did Ulftin see any heraldry with the orcs on that place, or?
If you in that time been wanting to study the heraldry on the orc ship, roll me some heraldry tests.
Yay!
You can roll me 1, and it's a flat 1.
Fate.
You get this in an issue number.
Hey, technically, I can roll heraldry. Because I just realised infused knowledge covers that. Can I roll it then?
If you want to.
Yeah.
I thought the
Okay.
explanation number was just 6.
Now it's 69, the kinkiest of numbers.
It's a 6 and an upside down 6.
Yes. You recognize the heraldry as this was a vessel from Battlefleet Calixis. Because Calixis is a subsector.
It is literally one of the great subsectors of the Imperium.
Hmm.
This
I
is a
see.
common information, I'm afraid.
But yeah,
Sorry.
I've just put it in his Battlefleet thing because I'm not going to bother
Yeah,
to spell that out. You'll know what it means.
If you want, you might some of its former name.
I didn't catch any of that, but if it's like except some
Something
sort of former name.
former name?
If you want to try and figure out its former name based on the fact that it's from Battlefleet Calixis, you can try.
It's infused knowledge again.
Yes.
Let's give it one shot. And I don't.
Spear of something.
It's a ship. I got bored. I now know it worked for Battlefleet, which means at least sometime, or at least at one point, it had Mechanicus working on it. It doesn't anymore, so it's not important. Back to doing my job, which was standing there being an armory.
Yes. Okay, so after this all is said and done, the orc vessel just warps out without any issues. You're going to try to make your way to the Alazaro system.
Inquisitor Bloodstone. Oh, Inquisitor Bloodstone's not here.
He's taking a break. A smoke break.
He does have a lot of low sticks, so I don't blame him.
I mean, I
wasn't he a
think
chain
that,
smoker?
that was to deal with the stress of having to deal with Yenka.
Now he's got the stress of Ulftin.
Now he's just
It all
Graduated.
In all
Which
fairness,
is-
Ulftane's not hard to deal with because the servitors have probably got like a standing order.
Oh.
If he's unconscious in the corridor, drop him off in his room. If he's vomiting, drop him off with his face in his toilet.
Ulftin's just thinking, I swear when I was younger I used to be a lot worse at getting to my room. This is weird.
Okay, Inquisitor
When you
Bloodstone.
were younger, you were going witch hunters on your ass.
Yes.
The orc vessel has warped out of the system. Do you want to try to go make your way to the Alazaro system now?
Yes, with due haste.
Okay. Estimated travel time is a month. You have plenty of food on board. Do you want to try to do anything in this month?
More painting?
So, I would probably look at the books in my... So let's say I spend 2 weeks studying the book of the Great Enemy. Do I have any information on the Lord Inquisitor? Are there any books that he may have written? Are there any books that Gregorius has written and mentioned him, or anything like that?
You're gonna try to find something in your office that alludes to the Lord Inquisitor.
Yeah, just if there is anything, if there are any inquisitorial books that were issued to me. Obviously the books that were originally there from Alona, any of them that remain, I probably wouldn't look at. It'd be the ones that the Inquisition have given me, just to be like...
Yeah, the ones that the Inquisition gave you were some books about orcs, some books about gene seeders, some other Tyranid life forms, but mostly gene seeders, and that single book about the Great Enemy. You can try to look if they have any other smaller tomes, something in there as well, or maybe look at some data slates if you want.
Oh, that's a good point. I nearly forgot. The data slate that I was given, does that have any information on it, or is that just more information that we were already told?
It requests DNA confirmation of your identity.
Yep, I'll do that.
Okay. And that, the data slate, it fizzles out. Fizzles back on. And then the back slides off and something drops out.
Okay. Magnus will have a look at what dropped out. He won't touch it immediately.
It is an Inquisitorial rosette.
So Magnus picks up the rosette. Is it just a normal rosette?
It has where the skull would be, inscribed in it the symbol of the Ordo Machinum.
Okay. Magnus would probably smile at this, place it into the drawer, top drawer on his desk, and then look at the data slate and see, is it completely ruined?
No, the back slides back on again, and it just starts acting like a normal data slate.
Okay. And is it just the code that's on the data slate?
There is a copy of the code on the data slate, but when you look it up, it also states in reference to this code that it is also stored within your Inquisitorial rosette. The code that you are meant to represent the system is quite literally your Inquisitorial rosette's code to signify that it is you.
Okay. So Magnus will after reading this look down at his drawer and go, open up the drawer, take out the rosette, and put it inside of his coat pocket, just okay, I'll hold on to that.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's is there anything, would I have any information on the ship about the planet or the subsector that we're going to that's in quarantine? and like to find out.
The system of Alazaro.
Yeah, like why has it been quarantined? Can I find that out?
You have an inquisitorial rosette now. Try. What would be an appropriate skill for you trying to essentially get access to these files using your rosette? Like, these are not exactly common files. I could say you could either try to sort of hack your way into it, which would be a tech use, or you could just try to look for it, which would be a scrutiny perception.
I will probably go with a scrutiny perception.
You
two in one session.
Yeah, that's
Jesus
2 crits.
Christ.
you miraculously find a report that it looks like it was meant to be removed from the data slate, but was only partially. Most of the important data has been scrubbed from this particular file, but it refers to the reason that the vote was quarantined as the Synthesis Mark III incident.
The synthesis.
I'm afraid now, OC.
Yes, it refers to the reason that the world and then the entire system were quarantined is the Synthesis Mark III incident.
Okay. Magnus would make a note of this. He would. He would probably make a note of this in one of Alona's books. Like if there was a book there that was left over from, like, it's not Inquisitorial, it's not Magnus's. He'll make a note of that in the back.
I mean, it's Magnus's now.
Yeah.
Yes. There are a few phrases that you can make out in this report that still are. They're complex. They don't have any context that has been removed around them. But it simply states a couple of things like progress was made fluidly, mysterious artifact recovered, contact lost, Ezekiel has fallen. And there's one last thing after Ezekiel has fallen. Strike team designation. Damn, what was the designation? Strike team designation 04 JA has been sent in.
Okay. Can I do any... So, I would probably ask Sister Sarah and... I'd probably ask Sister Sarah to look into Ezekiel as a city, a hive world, a whatever, and the Sinius Mark V incident. Oh, the Synthesis Mark III incident.
Is there any way I can reliably search those queries?
Which query would you attempt to search for? Would you attempt to search for the designation of the strike team? Would you attempt to find this Ezekiel somewhere in the files? Or would you specifically try to look for something named the Synthesis Mark III incident?
I'm gonna start with the strike team designation, then go to synthesis and Ezekiel until the end.
Okay.
Forbidden Lore Inquisition?
Yes. At a -10.
So, no to the strike team. Something on synthesis.
Oh, no. Okay, if that one was for synthesis, that would be at a -30.
Okay, so nothing for synthesis, and for Ezekiel?
Ezekiel would be a -10 also.
Something on Ezekiel.
As far as you can tell, records of Ezekiel relating to the planet and the system you're going to state that he was a former high-ranking administratum official overseeing a certain part of a hive city, and then mysteriously disappeared.
Okay, I'm going to relate to Magnus that I managed to dig up something on that Ezekiel, but it's a dead lead for me on either the strike team or this synthesis, whatever it is. The Ezekiel guy, he was an administratum, pretty high ranking too. He was overseeing part of a hive, but then he just mysteriously disappeared, which in this context can mean a whole lot of things.
Thank you, Sister Sarah. That's most useful.
Magnus? What exactly are we getting ourselves into this time?
At the moment, I'm just poking around. That's all. I don't know, something about the inquisitorial title seems to make you a little bit more paranoid, and want to make you prepare a little bit more. That's all.
I don't think it's just the title. Well, anyway, if you need me, I'll be in chapel.
Very well, sister. Thank you again.
So, does anyone wish to do anything else until you reach the Alazaro system?
Roll for another painting?
Can Octane just take a bottle of whiskey and then spend like 3 days in the library?
Sure.
Is it possible for Brother Felicia to make one of our landers, the Argus, to have a explodey? Oh well, bang.
You want to modify one of your Argos or one of your Equilolanders?
Oh, the Argus, the light landers.
The Argus one.
Yeah.
Quite easily, Arguses are specifically meant to be sort of freighter ships. So what you can easily do is you can essentially install a sort of second wall and essentially place a small nuclear warhead behind it.
I mean, the easy thing I can do is I could like rig up a macro cannon shell just in a hidden compartment to the Vox system that with a one word goes off.
I swear Latila's bad influence on you.
Excellent. That'll work.
This would be the AdMech method of doing it. Why waste anything else when you can just use the macro cannon batteries you barely fire?
No, that works well.
That's not a bad influence.
Well,
Are you
Sarah,
kidding me?
what were you painting, Sarah?
Honestly, Sarah would. This time she would definitely be thinking about what Oftain said about her having no soul. So I'm not exactly sure what would be on the canvas this time.
Our stories?
Probably some esoteric star cluster thingy, swirling maelstorms. I don't know.
Maybe some
I'm gonna say
Van Gogh inspired.
You paint a sort of self-portrait, but at the stars it is essentially your silhouette made in stars against the black night.
Downtime, Little is going to study
Just out
at the
of curiosity,
library.
what would be the quality of that?
We would call that we'd call that a
That's one step down from the previous painting.
let's say we call it a very rare painting.
Okay, thanks.
Downtime, Little is going to study at the library, and she'll be trying to make more cigars.
Oh, cool. Would we run into each other?
Probably.
You'd be passed out on the table.
I don't drink the whole cigar in one go, or that. I mean,
How
the
does
whole
one
bottle.
drink cigar? Now I'm curious.
I don't know.
First,
You melt
one
down the
puts
gold.
that cigar in a blender with water.
You melt down the gold, obviously. I wouldn't drink the whole bottle of whiskey in one go. It's kind of just something to sip on while I read, and then eventually I get drunk and retire.
Okay. So, what were you searching for, Latilla?
No. That's me making my cigars because I rolled Medicaid.
Okay. Okay.
It's kind of crazy because it's like low sticks, a couple of hours.
The books I'd be reading
when it's
on the
working.
library would be specifically Xenos books. I want to learn more about Xenos pieces.
There's books about the orcs, there's books about gene seeders, there's books about other tyrant organisms.
I'd be reading
I'm
those.
just looking at this.
Okay.
Just looking at this Viking-craft. It's like I need designs for this. Hooray!
After another month, with a couple of days extra of unforeseen war problems, you arrive in the Alazera system. And Magnus, that data set you had, I assume you'd be on the bridge.
Yeah, I've
For
been
this to
making my way on the bridge already.
The data slate immediately just sort of sends a signal to the rest of the command deck, and the captain says that a signal has been sent out from the ship. And with that, you can now see the system before you. It's a relatively mundane system, just by itself. Yellow sun, several planets orbiting in, some of the gas giants, some of them just frozen hunks of rock. But a single world that catches your attention because there is a giant space fortress above it in geosynchronous orbit with a certain location, as far as you can tell. And then the sensors pick up the other vessels that are in this system. Do you wish to know the vessels that are in this system?
Yes.
What you find is that there is somewhere off to the side, near the planet, there are a couple of ships. 3 of which are battleships. You can recognize an Emperor class battleship, a Retribution class battleship, and an Apocalypse-class battleship. Several Armageddon-class battle cruisers, a single Dominion-class battle cruiser, several Gothic-class cruisers and Lunar-class cruisers, several Dauntless and Endeavour-class light cruisers, a few Firestorms and Sword-class frigates, and then things start getting weird in the names. Off to a side, not necessarily near the planet, but also the most definitively not out of range of the weapons of the other vessels in the system that are, and they're not all just clumped around the planet, they're also still spread around the system a bit. This is the battleships all close to the planet. It lists something as a group of 3 Iconoclast destroyers, and then very close to the massive space station, you now notice another massive spaceship, a Gloriana-class battleship. And the Gloriana-class battleship does actually also transmit its name back, the Eternal Conviction.
Oh.
Bloodstone, do we answer their hail?
Yes, by all means, answer the hail.
Congratulations, Inquisitor Bloodstone. It seems you have succeeded in your trial. Forgive me for setting you up with a species you have a particular dislike for, but I wish to know your loyalty to the Inquisition and your ability to adapt, as well as test your patience, and I'm pretty sure you already know who was meant to do that. You have succeeded in all 3 tests, otherwise you would not be here. I invite you to dock with my flagship, the Eternal Conviction, and come meet the rest of the Conclave. Electo out.
Huh.
He actually meant the ambassador.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he meant both.
Magnus
No,
kinda
he's
got that
apologising.
mixed up.
He's apologising about the orc, but then he's really apologising about the ambassador. Because even he doesn't like the ambassador by the sounds of things.
Yeah, no, here was the thing. The test of loyalty to the Inquisition was the orcs. The test of adaptability was, again, not shooting the orcs. The test of patience,
Not throwing
managing...
the ambassador out of the airlock.
Yes, or disposing of him otherwise, yes.
I mean, we could have disposed him on the way last second. But at least we were patient enough to not kill him before we did our job.
At which the ambassador also he was also in the room, he's like, thank God
I
I
know
can
the side
finally...
character did.
Yeah, okay, the ambassador also was in the room for this, and it's like, I am finally allowed to drop this goddamn persona. I am going to take a bath.
Nice.
Yes, by all means, you do that. Goodbye.
Ugh, oh shit, just... Ugh.
You've just had Felicia this entire time completely unaware of the situation.
Does the ambassador have mechanical legs?
He does, he, has mechanical lower legs. He also has mechanical eyes. That you
Now
have
I'm
seen. You have previously seen these eyes glow slightly while he was being threatened. So make of that what you will.
I mean, he probably doesn't have two baleful eyes, right? Right?
If
Right.
anyone tells Magnus this, that man will not make it off this ship.
Your
Oh,
eyes are mine!
Magnus saw those eyes glow himself as well. So
Magnus doesn't know that they're baleful eyes, so he's just like, oh, cool, cybernetic eyes.
I think I was gonna say the only people who would know this would be the chirurgeons the guy went to, because Felicia didn't do his cybernetics maintenance.
I mean, this is not. This is definitely not the guy I was thinking about. God, having so much meta knowledge is painful.
okay.
Yes, Captain, by all means, dock with the Lord Inquisitor ship.
Yes. The captain also kind of just looks in awe at the fact that the captain gives the order and then just still kind of just sits back in his chair and just looks in awe through just a giant like you're heading towards it, and even though it's just a speck in the distance, it's a large speck in the distance, and you can see this guy just sort of radiate like awe, like holy shit! I didn't imagine I'd ever see one of those in real life.
If he says that, I will be, well, you're going to get to see it a lot closer up. So...
He didn't say that, it's
Oh.
kind of just what he's radiating, like his face is telling that.
Well, I'm going to
That's what his
metagame.
face
Magnus just puts his hand on his shoulder, and you're going to get to see that a lot closer up. Magnificent sight.
Have you seen one before, sir?
No, I haven't, but, heard stories, heard rumors. I know about 1,000 Mechanicus who would love to get to just see it, let alone board the vessel.
I'm pretty sure several Lord Admirals would just trade rank and place with me just to be on board one of those things. Wow. And with that, your tiny speck of a ship moves up to this ship that is at least 10 times as large as yours.
Magnus would clean, wash, and make himself all presentable, and he would inform the rest of his team and the crew. Do what you can to make yourselves look presentable, just in case.
I mean,
I'm always presentable, boss. What
That
do you take me
means
for?
power armor.
Off-tame.
Some
My-
Crimson
drunk?
black power armor.
Off-tame,
my
no
spirit-
drinking.
my superstition is beauty is all, so I'm pretty sure I'm always clean and
Well,
speedy. So.
What I'll say to Magnus when he says we need to be presentable, is I'll just respond with, "Come on, boss. What did you take me for? Some dumb drunk?
No,
I'm a smart drunk, actually. Thank you very much."
no drinking, Off-tame. This is the kind of guy who can have... I mean, admittedly, I'm the kind of guy who can wipe out your family. He's the kind of guy who can wipe out your family, your ancestors, and everyone you ever knew about in any other way. So don't get
Wow,
drunk and
I'd
piss
like
him
to meet
off.
him.
He could probably
I'm just
put you back on a black ship, you know that?
Altain just shrugs.
Oh, low blow.
No, he could.
Like, but
he
what
could,
he's really
not
thinking is,
Magnus.
fuck this guy. Who's this fucker think he's talking to, like, afterwards?
So, you move up to this ship that is one of the tech adepts has just found some excuse to get up to the bridge. Say this information, probably just look through the giant fuck of windshield to see this thing itself. So, like,
He's
to inform
claimed to be 2IC for Felicia, because Felicia's making herself look like an actual like, you know, the Mechanicus version of nice clothing. She's in that.
Yes.
And he's like, I'm in second in command. And he's just the first one to do it, so nobody else can argue it.
Yes. And he comes to inform you that the vessel is in length exactly 12.5 times larger than your vessel. And then he just scuttles off again.
Alfin just giggles if he's there.
Also, the servitors have been programmed with an emergency. We need Octane to be presentable mode. They hide the alcohol, except for the medical ethanol.
Oh. No, hide that too. Hide that too. He's desperate.
Alfin's just gonna drink some ethanol. No. Alfin won't drink. Well, he's had a heads up. He's probably already had a couple of drinks today, but he's not gonna get drunk or anything like that.
Okay. You were next to the eternal conviction. And your airlocks clasp together. You stand there in this hallway, prepared, slightly nervous, also immensely in awe just at the size and prestige of a Gloriana-class battleship. Even if you don't know entirely what it is. And then the gates open. A group of, by the Emperor, Adeptus Astartes, stand essentially in, like you'd see guardsmen stand in sort of a parade stand. And at the end of this, there's a singular woman in some sort of sleek armor, sword on her back, simply motioning you, follow me.
Magnus, seeing the Astartes, pays them absolute respect. You know, goes as he walks up to them, bows at each of them, and then, you know, the guardsman, who cares, he makes his way.
One of the Astartes nods approvingly, and one of them just slightly whispers as far as it's possible with power armor. Inquisitor, you're the other one.
Altane will probably be humming a hymn he might have heard once, for like a few couple of ceremonies he went to. But apart from that, he's just trying to stay completely silent, and he's trying to hum it quietly to himself.
Felicia will give some respect to the Astartes because they probably take good care of their equipment. If there's a tech marine, he gets slightly more respect.
Sarah pays respect to the Astartes. Do they wear the same black armor as the guy we fought Gene Stealers with?
Oh,
you mean the armor of the Death Watch?
Yes, I'm asking if they're Death Watch.
Don't most of them have the logo of their
there's a
chapter on
total of There's a total of 6 Astartes, there's 3 on each side. They all have largely the armor of the Death Watch, but each of them has a different left pauldron, still bearing a different insignia.
Can I roll heraldry on one of them?
Sure. Which of the 6?
The Tula will do a cordial bow to the Astartes and move forward.
Whichever of the 6 just grabs my attention instantly.
I'll roll a D6 for him.
To see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I'd kept that grenade now.
Oh well, it was for a good cause.
It was, but I could have been like, here is a hallowed gift, given to me by one of your brothers who fell in battle. I return it to you.
Okay. Roll a d6, so that we can see which Astartes he tries to see the heraldry of.
You know, as...
Duke, do you want me to... No, wait, Duke, roll.
Okay. Roll heraldry. Roll all the plus 20.
It's the Ultra Smurfs.
Yay! Something that would give you a bonus, wouldn't it?
It's some sort of inverse toilet seat.
Fucking Ultra
Can I revert? Can I? I'm beating this. Fuck.
I love how I managed to predict this based on the fact it was a bonus. Yes. No, now it's...
How does one not recognize the Ultra Smurf?
Oh, saying you are slightly tipsy, you think that this chapter is named after toilets.
Wait. What do I think the chapter's name is?
The Emperor's Toilet.
The toilet remains.
They're the Emperor's toilets.
I do have an intelligence bonus of 4, so I assume I wouldn't just
You
stop.
near enough got 100. Near enough at 100. You know something's false and you think it's real.
You think these are the excremental angels. You forgot what the word excremental means.
It's like I won't say anything. I'll just nod and say, "How goes the chapter, brother?" And then I'll like look around to see if anyone is like giving me a deal and telling me to shut up.
He just slightly lowers his head. He just stares at you.
Ulftane,
And then he
please,
just raises his head again.
please don't hold us up too much. The Lord Inquisitor is waiting as Magnus starts to pick up his pace and gives a nod to.
I do not wish to keep my dear waiting. Please hurry up.
As Magnus, after hearing that, as Magnus is walking, he's going to do an awareness check on her bum. Oh,
I was gonna say,
Oh,
can I
God,
mind
you-
link her after she says my
The,
dog?
Do you have
Or
any
after-
idea who you're staring
the
at?
guard and everything. You know, all the procession is just too much, and Magnus can't focus.
I mean, I was just thinking perception.
It is a very fine ass in very fine armor.
Alright, fating that.
Are you trying
Are
to
we
mind
serious?
link her? I told you to behave.
Yes, he is. What makes it
Okay.
even worse, is you can tell what his psi rating is based on the roll.
I'm gonna fake that also.
Alright. I'm
Okay,
not gonna
roll
read
me
her
1d10.
mind. I'm not gonna read her mind. I'm just gonna.
Are you making sure you have the penalties for me being close? Because your psi rating is lower 1.
Yeah, just drop the psi rating by effectively 1, which means he's cast this at like psi rating 5.
Roll a
Sorry,
1d10.
6.
You're naturally psi rating 6, aren't
Yeah, I rolled it in max rating.
Untouchable,
Which means I got a
So
minus 10.
you're on 5. Because
Let's
I'm
see.
close to you and I lower your psi rating by 1.
Oh.
Ulftane,
Unless you want to push, in which case you have psychic phenomena.
Ulftane, you
thanks.
may send the message, but the moment you do, you get a massive headache.
It's pretty much just revenge on Magnus. It's all of the times that someone's mentioned, like all of like the voice lines and like no images or anything in her head that Magnus. Well, someone mentioned Magnus and the fact that he was in a relationship with that noblewoman.
Oh god damn it! He's doing
Would
this
you
for
even know
25
about
seconds.
that? No.
He doesn't.
You
I
have
don't-
mentioned it on the planet,
Okay.
though.
Okay, he doesn't know what was entirely bad about the noblewoman, but he just mentioned it.
I was gonna say, he doesn't know any specifics, but Magnus is in relation with a heretic.
So for one, he was there when we killed her. He was there
Yeah.
when I threw a grenade at her. So
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure he's just cooked in the shield.
Okay, Ulftane, you get a massive splitting headache as if you've had a combined hangover of an entire week of drinking without sleeping in between.
Yeah,
Whew, I'm getting too
That
old for this
would-
shit.
Fall to the ground
That,
screaming.
yeah, carries some experience, doesn't it, Henry?
yeah, I do. So,
Ulftane, you instantly fall to the ground screaming,
Also,
and the lady just simply says, "Yes, I know. I've been informed."
Wait, I hear what screaming?
what was
fall down screaming.
with the 1d10 anyway? I'm
for,
confused.
for Emperor's
Um,
sake, Ulftane's just...
Determining how strong the effects are of essentially a counter mechanism.
Don't get up after. I told you to behave yourself. Don't make me send you
I'm
back
like
to the
curled up
ship.
in the
The
balls.
screaming, the screaming stops after 10 seconds. So does the pain.
Don't.
Can I give
I'm
him?
probably
like,
still
a-
shivering, like.
Can I give him something for the pain?
The pain dissipates after 10 seconds as well.
Just
Uh,
both
The
my
moment he
hands on my
stops
head
scre-
and
the
I'm
moment he
shaking.
stop- the moment he stops screaming, the pain is also gone.
I was
But he
gonna
still
say that
remembers it.
I don't think you can carry a medkit around with you while you're looking like full parade. Whereas my medkit's built into me.
I'm
Say
wearing
right
a
now.
full power armor and I'm the
Yeah,
sister
but you're
of
looking.
the
You're looking.
Hospitalia. If I have a medkit on my person, it's kind of
Like, just
natural.
put it this way. Let's put it this way: the medkit is not necessary. But if you look around, you do see that two of the Astartes just kind of look at each other and they just kind of.
I'm just gonna say, I'm sorry. I seem to be having diminishing effects on him.
Apologies, one
One
of
of the
my...
Astartes just stares at you, and you can swear that you can sort of sense that behind his.
Can I heraldry him again? The one that's
It's-
staring at me this
The
time.
experimental
This is-
angel again.
This is another one, so please roll another d6.
No pluses?
No, this is just a d6 to determine which of the Marines it is. So,
Old man.
The one that's staring at me.
Old
yeah, roll a
man,
d6 for which one it is.
They're all looking at you.
I'm going to shoot you if you do not get your ass up and stop embarrassing me in
You're
front of all these
embarrassing us in
people.
front of us, Astartes.
Also, Felicia will kind of like pull her hood up a bit more, trying to hide that she's actually really quite embarrassed by this, by Olfte. And on top of that, she'll also just be like, yeah, I don't really want to be here anymore.
Magnus takes a cigar out and lights it, and Ulftain, get your ass up.
Ulftain, roll me a heraldry flat. It is that a bird on its period?
Oh, I don't have any fate left.
Wait, there's a bloody... Is there a
Yeah.
bloody magpie in this retinue?
That is what it kind of looks like if you don't know if you had to describe it.
I mean, calling them a magpie is still kind of fair.
Magnus picks Ulftain up off the floor, at least helps him up, and come on, I'm getting embarrassed enough as it is here.
I'll probably just cough and just be like shivering a little bit, like, oh god.
You realise there's probably a commissariat around here just itching to shoot you for this.
Felicia's gonna look around, make sure no one's looking, discreetly, make sure no one's looking at her. She really does sort of be looked at.
Magnus then makes his way and tries to catch up with the with the Lord Inquisitor's wife, and is just like, I apologise for my associate. He's a newcomer to the retinue.
Acolytes. You'd be surprised how many idiots I have to work with sometimes.
Oh, I'm very much glad to hear I'm not the only one burdened.
She kind of just raises an eyebrow and then just keeps walking. Eventually, after a set of elevators and long hallways, eventually you just even get picked up by a car and driven down the corridor. You eventually make it to a large double wooden door that then slowly opens inwards. Inquisitor Bloodstone, you may choose to bring your retinue in with you. You may also choose to leave them in the custody of the Astartes for the time being. No harm will befall them.
Magnus turns round to all of them, and Sister Latilla, I would appreciate you joining me. The rest of you, I'll leave it up to yourselves if you want to join us or spend time with the hallowed Astartes. Ulftain, if you're gonna come, you will behave yourself and you will not do any more of your foolish behaviour.
If it is alright with you, Magnus, I would wish to ask the Astartes the best methods with which they maintain their power armor.
By all means.
Latilla's actually going to look at Ulftain and whisper, "We should probably stay outside."
Also, roll me a Cynician's perception.
Also, assuming that I'm close to hear that, it's just you get from Felicia behind off team.
I'll pass the test eventually.
Something in this room that you're about to enter, if you choose to enter it, seems very familiar, very powerful.
GM, a question. Do
Yes.
all of the Astaris have helmets on?
Yes.
Okay, I probably go
They aren't
with
named, so that of course they wear helmets.
Yeah, no, I was also thinking because I don't think librarians usually wear helmets.
Librarians with different sort of things, yes. Because they need something. They essentially have these side focus couples around their head.
Anyway, I would, if Magnus allows, I would enter with him.
Okay.
Sure.
So far, the two sisters enter with him. Orthane, do you enter as well?
I would, yeah.
Okay. The moment you step into the room, Orthane, it also becomes very clear to you what you sensed, because essentially at the other end of a very long table sits just a person that in your mind can only be described as a psychic beacon, even surpassing your own psychic might.
Ooh,
Is it a demon, buddy?
Nah, that's the Lord Inquisitor.
well, it's the Inquisitor. I take great interest in this guy.
Okay. You enter the room to just a grand room that is it even has a window that looks out of the ship actually. Though probably it's just a view screen that is doing it, because otherwise it would be in a structural weakness. But it looks very impressive. It almost looks like if you're just in a large cathedral hall that you just walked into. And it's just a massive table with seats on all sides. The Lord Inquisitor is sitting at the end. The woman that walks with you walks essentially to the seat that is to his left. The seat that is to his right, you recognize Lumen. Still with his wings.
Ah.
And you notice that beside the three of them, there is still 16 seats, of which 15 are filled.
This is where we're leaving off.
If you want to.
Just because we're about 25 minutes past our normal endpoint.
If you want to keep going, or is this where we want to end?
I don't mind.
I'm fine going a bit more.
It's up to the late kids.
So, it needs to be unanimous, so.
I'm good to keep going.
I'm not part of this, so I could go. And
Okay.
it's already half an hour later than I usually go to sleep.
Yeah, okay. You can always just catch up afterwards. If you need anything to know what happens, you could just ask.
Just someone message me with the XP we get at the end.
Sure. I can actually tell you, you're probably going to get like 250 XP.
I'll put in 250 for now, and then update it later.
Okay. Sleep well.
Good night.
See you, man.
So, Magnus, do you take this seat?
Magnus takes, steps forwards to. Well, no, he stands with the group for a second and just, team, don't fuck up. And then he steps forwards to the back of the seat, puts his hand on it, and then looks at the Lord Inquisitor, gives him a bow. It
The Lord Inquisitor nods his unhelmeted head and essentially motions for you to sit next to what you assume is another Inquisitor, who looks at you curiously.
Magnus takes the seat.
Well then, the conclave once more counts as full number, with our newest member, Inquisitor Bloodstone, of the Order Machinus. And most of the Inquisitors just give us small applause.
I would join in on this applause.
Magnus looks round at all the Inquisitors and, gives a curt nod every so often to indicate, thank you very
You
much.
recognize that Gregorius is sitting 5 seats diagonally across from you.
Okay.
He also still looks very new to this.
I'll just be staring at the guy with great significance.
I see you have decided to bring 2 blessed sisters of the Adeptus Sororitas, brides of the Emperor, in our presence as well as... I think I know why one of them is a blank. Your Psyker is quite powerful, Lord Bloodstone.
Yes, and quite the pain in the ass as well. But thank you, my lord.
I'll just sort of shrug and be like, well,
Some
I
of
want to
us
deny it.
can be eccentric, I am aware. Very well.
I'm not the most powerful in the room, apparently.
What did you say?
I was
Sorry, you're standing at the... You are standing at the other end of the table. I could not hear you. Could you repeat yourself? Mr.
Apparently,
Krieger, if I'm correct.
I'll nod, and apparently I'm not the most powerful in the room, and I'll just be looking around to see if I notice my old Inquisitor here.
You do. He is sitting next to Magnus. To his right.
I'll stare him down.
He nods back at you.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I am glad that you managed to complete your trials successfully. So, I hereby gracefully welcome our newest member and his acolytes to the conclave of Aurelian.
Thank you, my lord, for... thank you very much, Lord Inquisitor, for accepting me into your ranks and inviting my my acolytes to join you all here.
You are now, as the rest of us, united in the great purpose of protecting this Imperium and returning it to its former glory.
Make the Imperium great again.
Exactly. You know already part of our mission, which is why I have personally chosen you above many other candidates. The less knowledge about this conclave is spread around, the better. We are gathered here now, Inquisitors from many different orders, to also celebrate something that was lost, but Inquisitor Bloodstone here has, on our behalf, retrieved from our mercenaries. And for this, we thank you greatly. Again, some of the Inquisitors applaud you. He then motions with his hand, and 3 more chairs just start moving across the room near the end of the table that is left empty essentially just rest there. Please, your acolytes may take a seat too. It would be impolite to leave them standing.
Are the seats behind us, or are they
They
on
were
the table?
placed at the table.
Oh, how far away am I from my old Inquisitor that I still have a grudge on, Kappa?
Let's see. It's Magnus's position, so we're in the middle. To the right of him. There's a 9 on each side. About 6 seats. If you sit right next to an Inquisitor, on the right side of the table, you're about 6 seats away from your Inquisitor.
I probably just keep changing who I'm looking at, but like between a dirty look at my old Inquisitor and then a curious look at the guy who's a great psyker.
You keep throwing curious looks at the Lord Inquisitor then. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know if out of fact, I don't know if this is if it would be right for a lowly acolyte such as Latilla, an interrogator, to sit beside so many interrogators. So
I
she's
insist, acolytes, that you sit.
this was out of character. So Latilla is going to, bow and take a seat silently.
Sarah will also silently take a seat.
So, as serfs now, essentially parts of the table open up and food starts lifting up. So, Inquisitor Bloodstone, how did your assignment befall you?
You mean retrieving the package?
Yes.
Well, the God Emperor ensured that our travel through the void was perfectly safe. There was no hindrance. We collected the package and it is here, as you requested. With no...
I half expected, with your background, that things might have potentially gone wrong.
When your superior officer gives you a direct order, you follow said order. That's pretty much the mindset I was going under. It helped. A lot.
I am thankful for your loyalty to me, this conclave, and the Imperium. You have done a great deed. And it was perhaps risky of me to send our newest member, but you had to be tested some way. Very well. So, whilst we eat, do any others have status reports? As to which the Inquisitor sitting to the right of Magnus, Wolfthane, your former Inquisitor, raises his hand.
I'll just jolt forward and just look at him as if to be like, yeah.
Inquisitor Centanus, what is it? I might joyfully say that although I did not expect him to see him alive, Wolfthane Krigor apparently has survived his entrapment onto Chalka alongside Inquisitor Lumen. I am, though this is no concern to the rest of the Conclave, I thank the God Emperor that this is the case. He is a valuable asset, and I hope that Inquisitor Bloodstone has good use for him. Furthermore, my interrogator and her favored agent, have gone to the Chalka and have managed to survey parts of the system and the stations surrounding the planet. It is clear that whatever war is going on this planet between the ruinous powers, they seem more focused on each other than any potential outside influence, as long as it does not come within a certain sphere of influence of it.
Just an OC, is this the world where we found Lumen and Old
Yes.
Man Elftane? Okay.
Yes.
It is, yeah.
And
Very well.
what of the space station orbiting the planet?
The space station has been thoroughly cleansed. This is Lumen answering. By our special forces, more specifically the Lord Inquisitor's special forces. You will get to meet them in time. Several leads of potential other heretical artifacts that need containment or destruction have been found in it and have already been undertaken by several of the Inquisitors you see here at this table. Is it not correct, Inquisitor Drax? I believe your interrogator was very fervent on one of these. Yes, I must say, Titus was very eager to get underway with his mission. Very well then. If there is no direct other imminence that needs to be handled, darling, your former strike team is currently still behaving properly, even with their promotion. Excellent. In that case, let us first eat. We must be thinking straight, and we cannot do so on an empty stomach. And with that, the other Inquisitors around you start essentially taking food onto their plates and pouring themselves various drinks.
I will not eat anything.
And at the Lord Inquisitor sort of, Sintanus, did your interrogator pull that trick on Mr. Krigor here? I believe she might have. Do not fret, Mr. Krigor. If I wish to know what secrets your mind holds, I would not need food to find out.
Yeah. And then it's almost like Altin goes to say something after he says yeah really cockily, but then he holds himself back and goes, I'm just not hungry. With a big smile on his face, looking at the guy who says it.
So be it. And they just continue eating. You can still pour yourself a drink if you want to, also.
Magnus partakes in the.
What
I
is the
wouldn't
rest-
drink
food?
either.
Okay. What does the rest of the group do?
Probably gonna eat.
Dale gonna eat a very small quantity, and she will not drink.
Magnus will eat, and he'll have like a glass of Amasec that he just, very,
Not
very
that so?
slowly nurses.
This?
Yes. Oh, sorry, I was hitting the wrong button then. So Magnus would eat, and would have just one glass of amasec which he'd slowly nurse.
Meanwhile, the Inquisitor to your right will also attempt to start a conversation with you, Magnus, considering Ulthane.
I just lean in slowly and just stare at this
You're
as it happens.
sitting 6 seats away, sir.
Inquisitor
Yeah, but I still lean in until...
Sintaris, was it not?
The Garius Sintanus of the Ordo Hereticus. I believe you are of one of the Ordo Minoris, is it not? Not that it very much matters in this conclave. We all refer to each other as members of the Ordo Electo. So, in any case,
Hey, Ryan.
Yes,
how has Ulthane befallen you? It has been long since I have seen him.
he is in many ways a great asset to my team. However, he must be handled with a careful hand. And
I see you also have a null, or at least at the notice of our Lord Inquisitor here, that you have a null in your presence. Very good planning. I believe my interrogator's favorite agent is one as well.
it happens to be that the God Emperor must have some doing in the way that my team has been founded. I had no idea who Ulthane was when Sister Sarah and Sister Latilla, well, made acquaintances, shall we say. So the God Emperor has clearly aided me before I even needed to call him. Magnus will chuckle, and because you know Ulthane's a pain in the ass most of the time.
He used to have a bit of a habit of drinking.
Yes, that habit seems to have calmed itself, yet still lurks in in whenever he has downtime.
Stress can bring out the worst in a man. Do not let it overtake you. Our line of work is too important for that.
True, but I find that sometimes having a issue to focus on in the immediacy helps you see the bigger picture overall. Although he is also very destructive towards the group's modus, to get our job done, but he also provides distraction so that we can see the mission anew.
Yes. I do believe that if Meshena was here alongside with Draco, they would perhaps not be as happy to see him. Who could tell? In any case, curious actually that we are currently orbiting Al-Zero-4. I still not entirely know how our Lord Inquisitor came to decide on this world, but this is actually where Draco is from.
I'm sorry, who now? I don't believe I know Draco.
My interrogator's favorite agents. Technically her only agent still. The rest of the team she disbanded.
Ah. So hang on a minute. You're telling me one of your interrogator's agents actually came from that Emperor Forbidden and Forgotten place?
No, the world below us.
I see.
If Draco had come from T'Chalka, that would have been interesting, considering that he's a null. But yes. How are you enjoying the food?
Oh, it's very nice. I'm actually quite comfortable. It's extremely high grade. Very impressive.
And what do you think of the ship?
That is something special. Just just the feeling its machine spirit gives off is almost overwhelming. You can really sense the Omnissiah's blessed construct.
The Emperor's will shines throughout this entire vessel. This vessel is ancient, if I might say so. As we know, at least as far as the Lord Inquisitor has been willing to share with us, this vessel once led an attack against a trader Forge World during the Horus Heresy and was presumed lost until the Lord Inquisitor's forebearers found it and reclaimed it in the name of the Imperium.
No, he's an Inquisitor of a higher rank than me, so let's not. Well, I am only newly appointed to the position, but I was able to acquire a sword class frigate from a heretic rogue trader before I was given this position.
You are lucky then. I remember that when I was first promoted, all they gave me was some civilian freight hull.
Well, it
Over
might have
time,
helped
you
as
too will get your fate.
it might have helped as a spoil of war, so it was more than easy enough for the Lord Inquisitor to sign over.
Out of character, I noticed how you're not telling him how we managed to overthrow the ship.
Acquired as
Killing the
plunder of war
heretic.
is kind of implied.
I have overheard that you are one of the acolytes of Gregorius over there that was responsible for saving Lumen from Tucharka. That must have been interesting.
Yes, that was quite the experience. Quite the Entirely honest with you, I didn't really care at the time. I was more concerned with the demons and the flying fish and the Nurgle priests in the sky, and I was more concerned with getting off the world in the first place.
Yes, dangerous heretics and demons and all that.
Oh, not to
Mortals
mention
with
the rogue
life.
trader in the sky that was trying to blow us to tiny pieces. So, yeah.
I presume that is where you got your ship from.
Yes, quite.
Rogue traders can be unreliable folk at times, which is why, if you wish to have good relations with them, attempt to make sure they are your former acolytes, perhaps. It has worked wonders for me so far.
That might be true. That might be true. I, for one, have definitely been... Well, the waters have been fouled when it concerns larger houses. The raccoons were a particular disruptive.
Yes, I believe that a war against them is in fact still going. Their military might surpass that of estimates, and the reports that we have gotten back have been worrying.
I'm sure they will be dealt with in due time.
That the Inquisitor to your left, Inquisitor Drax, also leans in. Yeah, I did not like what I heard about that. Rumors have it that the Raicones have deployed some form of their own Adeptus Astartes, at least if the rumors are anything to go by. Now, they could not possibly be actual true Astartes unless they managed to align themselves with the Renegade chapter, but the sheer wealth required to outfit such a force, even if it were only barely augmented, is still significant.
From my personal intel, I would imagine that they will not be able to replenish their losses. If my suspicion is correct, then this is something that has taken them decades to achieve. And unfortunately, it will only take years to unravel. Or at least that is my hope.
Well, it is a hope then that we share. In any case, my interrogator Titus is well on his way to attempt to quench this threat. Inquisitors, may I have your attention? This has been our first gathering since a long while. And, well, I do not need to point out that one of our old members has miraculously returned to us, and, well, you can all see that he has changed. Lumen, please rise. Lumen stands up from his chair, as the Lord Inquisitor does as well. The Lord Inquisitor is still slightly taller than him. Lumen has been changed by the influence of the Chalka. I have heard whispers that some of you believe that he has ascended. Unfortunately, this is not the case.
Is this where he kills in front of everyone?
The training of this conclave has managed to save his soul from the ruinous powers, the uncontrolled conditions have made it so that his transition is flawed. We have currently managed to calm the darkest side of his transformation, but again, I issue this as a warning to the rest of you. Do not attempt to ascend alone. Some of the Inquisitors bow their heads slightly and murmur, some of them nod. Some of them just sit straight and look at the others, including Drax. Santana's kind of sinks. He doesn't like sink back in his chair like fully, but he kind of just sits back a bit more. You can also clearly see that the Lord Inquisitor's wife, you think, is also clearly just looking at the rest of the table. Now, to our two newest members that this is handled. You should know the full purpose of this conclave. Inquisitor Bloodstone already has heard part of our gospel from Lumen here. We are attempting to restore Lorgar Aurelian, son of the Emperor, writer of the Lectitio Divinitatis, the first faithful, back to the material realm, so that he may once more lead great armadas of Astartes against those that claim that the Emperor is not a god. And so that me and all of you may accept, embrace, and with the rest of humanity all, fulfill the conditions of his primordial truth. And I must ask, Inquisitor Bloodstone, Inquisitor Nominus, are you willing to take up this oath to the conclave of Aurelian, that you will aid us in this cause, no matter the cost, for the good of the Imperium, for the good of humanity? And with that, essentially, all faces at the table from the other Inquisitors turn towards you, Magnus, and Gregorius. Gregorius stands up slowly and he puts a hand on his chest and says, I hereby solemnly swear, and may the Emperor smite me if I ever forsake this oath, that I will serve the conclave of Aurelian and help fulfill its goals. And then he sits back down. And several of the Inquisitors applaud him, others just nod approvingly. And then they all turn to face you.
Magnus
the Bloodstone
stands up. I'm Magnus Bloodstone the 15th. Hereby swear my loyalty to the God Emperor, the Imperium, and to this council. And I swear that I will do everything within my power and sacrifice whatever I must to ensure that its goals are fulfilled.
And with that, the Inquisitors again applaud. And this time none of them just simply nod, they all just applaud, including the Lord Inquisitor himself. A well-spoken friend. Does this oath also hold true for your acolytes? They do not need to swear it themselves, but will you hold them to it?
I will hold them to the oath that they made to me, and that is that they will follow me wherever I may go, even if that should be into the eye of terror itself. I gave them the chance to leave my side long enough ago.
Very well. And hereby, and he raises his hand, and a flash of light from his hand just fills the entire room. This oath is sealed. And he lowers his arm back to his side. I believe it is time that some of you, once more, get to see the progress of our great projects, and that our two newest members are introduced to them. But that can wait until tomorrow's day cycle. For now, I bid all of thee a good night's sleep. And with that, he stands up. He nods to the table, and he leaves with his wife and Lumen behind him through a door behind him. For everyone else, the giant, massive wooden doors open to let the rest out. And that's where we're going to end this session.
Good night. Because I'm going to fall right now. Good night.
Well,
250 XP for everyone.
thank you very much for joining us for this first and pretty awesome episode of Dark Heresy, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So take care, everyone, and as always, bye bye for now.
Bye bye.